Check.
Cool. Prescott, what's going on? Nunya. I love that name.
Yeah, so we got Twitch and YouTube, wherever you guys are seeing hello from. Hello. You guys should be able to see us on both ends. Hopefully. You've sent some of your friends over to our chat today, so appreciate
it's a lot
that.
of wiggling.
Is that your thing, the wiggle? A lot of wiggling. Yep. Indeed. I just liked a couple of your recent. We'll get to.
Yeah, we get into that.
All right, so I am recording, so that's rolling. 601, not bad. Hello from the multiverse. What are you on, both sides? Oh, one side at least. Hope y'all are toasty warm. It's minus 23 degrees. Are you in Canada? Where are you at, 3 Geeks? I forget.
Minus 10.
I was like, we have a decent day today, but yeah, we're gonna get cold on Monday. I think even for Texas. Yeah. Texas is gonna hit a low of like 9 for us.
Yes.
We're worried, but it was like hopefully no precipitation, so it shouldn't be bad. Just cold, even though people still freak out.
We've been fluctuating this. It got cold for a little bit, and it warmed back up again. So I'm just like, we haven't really had any form of winter in any form. So I'm just like,
it's definitely not in Canada.
Yeah.
Because they use Celsius. If it was minus 23 in Canada, that would be.
Oh, 3 Geeks said middle of Montana.
Middle of Montana, minus 23 Celsius.
All right.
It's already. Yeah, so Monday, low of 11. Sorry, not 9, but 11. But the high is 24. So below freezing in Texas. Doesn't happen that often.
Yeah, Caden says it's 5 in, I believe that's Minnesota.
Yep.
Fabulous.
It is 67 degrees in San Francisco.
It's like it's 65 today. We have one good day and then it's...
Yeah, for us, we were about 44, New York City.
Apparently, well, all old men and one amazing lady. She's putting up with us talking about the weather. We're off to a good start.
No.
So what you guys do on the podcast? We talked about the weather. Who were you on a podcast with? What is going on?
What's happening?
But I think we're good. Do you have a time limit or anything, by the way, before I get officially recording? Anything to...
Nope.
Just let me know if you gotta, duck off screen to do anything. If I have dog noises, I may need to take care of huskies, but they should be good.
I have one delivery that I just gotta pick up.
Is this a food delivery? Food delivery?
Yeah. Dog noises would be a great username for like a competitive play.
Yeah, it might be in an hour or so. I'll shoot you a message.
Yeah,
imagine
you're
a
fine.
Shoutcaster being like, and it's dog noises from behind. Oh my god!
Random dog noises.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not even gonna say it because I already took that the wrong way. So anyway, fine. Yeah. A lady is present, so we have to be respectful.
3 minutes in.
Yeah, and I was like, didn't take long, right? No, I told my wife very early on about this. Yeah, she knows. All right, so yeah, silence on the set. We'll get going in 5, 4.
All right, and we are live. The last word, LordCognito, Ebontis, Ty Guy, Travis, fresh on that Thursday evening Destiny campfire. A little special guest action before we get into that. E, how we doing, man? What's going on with you? How's the cheetah doing?
Cheetah's good. Taking care of a very sick wife, so she is not doing so great. She got the flu, kind of getting her butt whooped right now. It's no joke. It's the legit one that's like, just things hurt. Fever. I think her fever broke last night because it's like, you got the night sweats going on, and I'm sleeping in the other side of the house to try and not get it.
I feel you.
But
chest congestion, cough,
everything.
Yeah, the cough is the worst.
The cough. I hate cough. I hate coughs because they hang on for like a month. But yeah, she's she sounds like
taking
all
care of a very sick wife. I think you're one personal tragedy away from having a show on HBO.
Oh my god,
very close. Very close.
But other than that, we can talk about what we played a little bit later because I don't want to go too long on the intro here or anything. But played a little early access yesterday. Got something else I'm going to check out tomorrow. So enjoying a couple of things. And we'll talk about Destiny as well. That's, still in there for a bit. Travis, what about you?
I am working on some stuff I can't talk about.
Ooh, exclusive.
Yeah. Good times.
NDA.
NDA boys in the building.
NDA boys in the house. I did play all of my Destiny homework, so it's going to be interesting. 5 months
Chores
without
done.
that.
You did your chores,
And
Chores are
did all
done.
my star chores.
Star
And then yeah. And then I think
love
I've been playing some Disney Dreamlight Valley as well, because we might do a re-review for that, because my original review was during early access, and a lot of stuff has changed. So been tinkering with that a little bit, and excited about all this Prince of Persia stuff we're seeing out there.
Oh yeah,
I know. That's what I can say I've got access to jump into that tomorrow, so I'll be doing that. So stay tuned.
No doubt. Yeah, for me, it's just been again caught up on Destiny homework and actually played Call of Duty. I've been in a Call of Duty.
I think I saw that or heard that on Duke. Or something. I was like, wait, who are you?
Yes, I played the latest one. I haven't played Call of Duty almost 10 years. I have thoughts. It was kind of funny. It's popcorn. It's over the top.
It's your summer blockbuster. High fidelity, big explosions. Yeah.
Remember that show 24? Like it's that. It's just popcorn over the top foolishness, and I was like, all right, I'm here for it. So I did that.
Have you heard of this franchise called Fast and Furious?
I was gonna say, yeah, Travis definitely understands the over the top, absolutely silly franchise. Yeah,
there's a master out there I could introduce you to.
Yeah.
And then, of course, still rocking a little bit of Baldur's Gate, and I think I've upset an entire Goblin village. I think they're very angry with me. So
no,
yeah,
I've got to get to that at some point. I've got to get that to some point.
Yeah, co-op is interesting to see your friends' decisions. It's hilarious. Yeah, it's suggesting what they should do or what you should pick. It's kind of funny, but enough about me. We've got a very patient guest in.
Indeed. So let's introduce her as we always do. Welcome to The Last Word, episode number 279. This week, we actually saw the end of Season of the Wish. 2024 game releases have begun to come out, and Game2Give begins next week, which we're all excited for. Who better discuss all the good world can do but someone who does amazing work herself? Our guest today started gaming all the way back with the orange and gray duck hunt gun in the Buckeye State. Progressed to Pokemon obsession, but has the Xbox 360 to thank for her FPS introduction. When you have Halo 2 and The Witcher 3 as a couple of your favorite games of all time, I think it's safe to say our guest has a solid taste in gaming. So FPS games, check. Epic story and combat games, check. And then 2020, she found Destiny 2. What started as a way to spend more time with her long-distance boyfriend, yes, I'm sorry to say she is taken, gentlemen, she is off the market, turned into every campaign at the time in 24 hours and all the raids in back-to-back nights. She went hardcore and dove deep. So let's welcome my dog, apparently, who's going to scream at the front door. That's midnight. Anyway, let's see if I can get through this, and then I'll let you talk. So let's welcome a St. Jude's researcher by day and streamer by night, someone who can't catch her breath after her teammates die to spike traps, enjoys traveling to as many unique spots of the world as she can, has studied the art of crisscross applesauce, enjoys an evening of drinkstedy every now and then, and is just a bright light in this community for all the charity work she does around this community. The one, the only, all-time Brianna. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
Go check on my dog now.
What an intro, even from the dog too.
I know, he killed that.
I was thinking that intro would have went really hard with the dog noises if he was rapping her intro. I feel like that would have
that would have been like the constant
I would have sold it. Yeah, the wolves in the background, and he's like, "Oh, have you heard of this girl?" Yeah.
Oh my lord, that was
good.
Speaking of dog noises and trends, I was checking one of your streams. You have a model for 2024. You want to talk about sucking cake and zoinks? Yeah. I was listening.
Oh my god! No, okay.
You
listen,
the model for 2024.
That was like the context is here, and that clip is all the way over here.
Oh god!
Oh god! Man, that's what we're opening with, huh?
Oh, we started.
What did I miss? What did I miss?
You have to watch one of Twitch streams, and it says this is the model for 2024. And they said we zoink it and we suck it cake, and I'm like, what's going on?
Whoa.
I'm here for it, though.
Yeah.
Listen, no, we were talking about actual cake, not the dirty stuff. I swear.
I just made a wife for celebrating made a cake for my wife. That was a weird sentence. Anyway, so I appreciate the cake, but yeah, that's a weird way to phrase it. I haven't heard that one before. Just really enjoy cake?
I wish I could tell you how we got there. Usually something is said and I'm like, okay, there was a path here, and even it doesn't make sense.
So there's no A to Z, it's just
no, there's
squiggles in the middle and you get there.
Yeah, and usually some incoherent screaming on my part. So
serious clever girl says they would never talk about dirty stuff in your stream.
Nope,
none whatsoever.
Yeah,
you got a whole lot of people throwing you under the bus right now.
No, see, they're all saying we would never.
That's all sarcasm. See, we understand the internet sometimes.
No doubt. But I had to get you. That was fun. But I would start gaming history a little bit. Obviously, you got some brothers, and some classic Duck Hunt, and then some 360 in there. You know, so I want to get with you as far as like kind of the vivid memories back then, just kind of starting with gaming. Any other little classics or any gems that resonated with you?
Yeah. Of course, like as the younger sister of two brothers that always played video games, I just wanted to be involved. I did not care with what, looking back on it, I probably didn't actually care about Duck Hunt, but I just like, if they were going to let me play, then I was going to play. Right. So nice. I did love Dig Dug. I still love Dig Dug.
Classic.
But they were always PlayStation, and I wasn't allowed to play on their PlayStation. No, I was only allowed to play on like the N64 and Atari with them. But
they gave you the side console that you could.
No, yeah. I think that's PlayStation's motto back in those days.
Damn.
No girls allowed, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
But I eventually
it's a different
bought
time.
It was. I mean, and then I got into the Xbox 360 days and early COD and stuff like that. That was definitely a different time.
It sure was. Those
I got to back you up. Online lobbies or just like campaign? Oh, you was back
I was
in
there.
Era? Oh, them lobbies, wow, girl.
I'm like, you can't hurt me nowadays, man.
You heard some things. You seen some things.
Yep. You were submitted to life. She was submitted to the dog noises.
Yeah.
That's what we call. Yeah. That's what we called the dog noises back then.
Man, that's gonna stick now. I'm gonna be thinking about something. I'm gonna get some hate message and be like, man, those dog noises.
Dog noises, dude. Just bark.
Hey, chat, all of you that are in here on Twitch right now, you got to remember this and carry it over to our future streams, so that way nobody understands what you're talking about. It'll be your little inside joke.
Wow, COD lobbies. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. But
those are the days.
Davies on it.
Perfect. I loved like campaign days, of course. Like some days when I didn't want to deal with it, but absolutely we got home from school and like instantly onto COD lobbies multiplayer. So I liked that. I was a wuss even back then, so I didn't play a whole ton of zombies, especially since my friends were kind of jerks and like left me behind. What was the one map early on that was there was the bus that left you behind, like in a
I know you're talking about. I forget the name. I know you're talking about. Yep.
The first time I ever played, they just left me by myself, and so that wasn't like my favorite mode ever. But I played it whenever I needed to. Okay. Yeah, did Transit. Halo, did all of those things. I loved the Fable games.
Can't go wrong.
Fable 3 is up there. It's not probably like in my top 5, but there's some fond memories there. And people from my chat have heard this story, but I'm going to tell you guys because it's just more fuel for you to make fun of me. Of course,
yeah. We'll take it.
So I had multiple playthroughs of Fable 3, right? And I was determined to do a perfectly good playthrough. Like I was going to be a good roller, no bad decisions. So I'm doing great, right? I don't know if you guys remember, you used to be able to like kick the chickens, like you used to pick them up and punt them. So that doesn't make you that doesn't affect your karma or whatever you wanted to call it. However, missing, which was the B button, missing the punt button and accidentally casting a fire spell in a crowded town with people all around, and being responsible for a town barbecue, that did affect my karma. So
did you ever actually go back and complete a good run, or did that just cement you were done?
Honest to God, that might have been the last time I've ever played Fable 3.
You're like, I burned out the entire town. I'm setting the game down now.
Like, well, time to go back to Call of Duty lobbies.
You can do less damage in there.
But that is still, and like I was just sitting alone playing by myself, like, but that is still one of my favorite gaming memories.
That's pretty great, actually. Be like, I'm gonna be so good. And
Yep.
then it all went wrong in one button.
I know.
And
That
it
was
was
classic.
it originated in me just missing the chicken with the aim. So my aim is
So
bad.
are
even then.
you excited for kind of, there was a little bit of a like in-game cinematic preview for the new one that's coming. Did that catch your eye?
Yes, I would definitely dive into it
Nice.
happily. So
Nice. Yeah, Fable. A lot of memories. People really love that. And again, the morality system. And then once you get horns, if you keep doing bad things or whatever, kicking the chickens. Yeah, it was something for its time, for sure. So you get in there and you stay in FPS.
Hold on. 3 Geeks has a very good joke. He's like, it was a foul mistake.
spelled foul with a W, didn't they?
Correct. Yeah, you may not see may not see my YouTube chat, but they nailed it. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Cog.
Nah, you good. So yeah, then the FPS, and then it's this little game that me and Trav like called Halo. Talk about that.
Yeah,
Somehow insinuating that I don't in that sentence, which thank you for that.
Yeah,
He
you
doesn't.
don't mess with these kind of things. You don't
I mean, I don't know if you could see the Halo sword or the energy sword back there. But yeah,
yes, I
Halo was largely like my own game. My friends at the time were like strictly COD guys. So it didn't really fully develop until I think I got a little older. So Halo 2, looking back on it from kind of the lens of all of the Halos, is one of my favorite games of all time. But probably my most playtime was Halo Reach, because that was kind of when I was able to get all of my friends to kind of play a little bit more,
Nice.
Very similarly, like my Call of Duty days, the most playtime I had was in Modern Warfare 3, but that was just timing and how my friends lined up and everything. Gotcha. But yeah, I absolutely love Halo 2. I liked Halo Reach a lot. I've played all of them. I played Infinite when it first came out. And I've taken a break, but I've been getting a little hype. I know that they released a season trailer today or the other day. So that might be, especially in this Destiny lull, that might be something we revisit in the next couple months.
Nice. Trav,
Yeah, what was the recent season 5 that I think has been doing well? Is that the right one?
Oh, I think she's talking about the show, right?
Oh yeah, season 2 trailer. That's yeah.
Sorry, I should have specified. So the show, the idea or the talk about the show news made me think about playing Halo again.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
No, I saw that trailer today too, and it actually looks hopefully better than the first season. Maybe.
I missed the trailer. I gotta check it out.
Yeah. I just can't. I don't know how I feel about it. Can't get past it, man.
Well, you had some amazing names for it, Cog. I can't remember. Master Cheeks or something like.
Master Cheeks with
Master Cheeks, yeah.
Face out and other things out.
All caked out.
He's zoinking,
I gotta see the new trailer.
cake.
He might be sucking cake or something, but
yeah, dude, that was the subtitle of the first season.
Man, he should have kept the. Never mind.
The mask on.
You kept the helmet on, but nothing else. But
helmet stays on. Yeah, something like that.
No, he did not.
Should have pulled a Shax there, but he did not.
Yeah, everybody's looking at that trailer like, "Hey, the second season might be good," and I'm like, "Bro, some things are beyond saving," because the entire season is about the fall of Reach, which is cool, but in this version of the Halo universe, he caused the fall of Reach by banging an alien and making Cortana watch. So I don't know if there's anything that could happen at Reach that would justify that level of storytelling in air quotes. It's horrifying.
I don't know if you come back from that.
Yeah.
The only way I like this show is if it's so bad that I can enjoy it, because I think I fell off that show after like the 4th season, and then when I heard how the later episodes happened, I was like, "Oh my god, I have to watch it now. I have to, because that sounds so bad. I just need to watch it." And then it was so bad, I kind of came back around on it. I was like, "All right, that was worth my time," because it was just so terrible. But now if it's good, no, that's unacceptable. An unacceptable outcome for me. It needs to be terrible.
Keep it in the box.
Irredeemable. I need it to be irredeemable.
No doubt. E?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. So as we kind of progress through gaming, obviously shooters.
Can I ask her a question?
Yeah, go nuts.
Sorry, Jeff.
What's your favorite Halo map?
Good question.
I'm so bad with map names. I hate when people ask me this.
Describe it to me and I will remember it.
I like the one I actually like the one that's on the big team battle with all the ramps.
Valhalla?
Yes,
Ragnarok.
that one.
Yeah, that one.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. I like that one.
That one's sick. And the man
like
cannons you can drive your Warthog through. Yeah, that's a Halo 3 map.
Yes.
Okay. What was the other one?
That was the one.
Okay.
That is my
I'm
one.
sorry, the correct answer was Lockout, but it's okay.
Oh man,
you get partial
okay, well
credit.
I had fun.
And next week on the Last Word Pod, we'll try again. No, I'm just kidding.
Say what you want about Halo. No, really. I'll wait. But I will say I think they still to this date have the best maps in any multiplayer game. Like just their roster is insanely good. And across the years too, and across different titles. That's
Hey, they keep at least making new PvP maps, so that's at
Yeah,
least a good start.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Wouldn't that be awesome?
What company would do that? What company would make a lot of multiplayer maps? Not any company called Bungie, I'm sure.
Wild.
Yeah.
Like we have been graced by a cat presence, but it is not on. I cropped her out, so she's not on he or she. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah,
That is King Kai.
King
He is-
Kai.
Oh, the king?
Yeah, named after Dragon Ball, King Kai.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
Nice. Trying to pick apart your
King
display
Kai.
now.
The really annoying blue one that lives on the tiny planet
Yeah.
and makes Goku train in 10 times gravity. 2 times. Just making sure we were thinking of the same character since you guys said it with such joy. And I remember only pain in those episodes, but that's okay. Those skippable episodes as they're known.
Hey, filler is good for the soul, okay?
When the filler is one episode of all screaming and charging.
No, those are the good episodes.
Oh, okay.
Filler, yeah, those are the good ones, dude. There's the filler.
On next
real
week episode, May. No, I didn't never watch that much of it, but my brother had me watch some of it, so I was like, I got a some here and there between a little bit of it.
No doubt. So they transition from that, and then this little game of ours that we play called Destiny. How did that start?
Yeah, so I started in July of 2020, which is obviously super, super late to the franchise. I had heard about it probably a few years prior. I was late to even hearing about it. And then I think I, saw an announcement on something and I was just like, that is way too much. Never can I get into all of that, just because I felt so behind.
Okay.
And then my boyfriend at the time, who I say boyfriend at the time because he's now fiance, but
there you go.
Absolutely.
He lives in Northwest Canada and I was in Ohio, and it was just something that we needed to, or we were looking for things to play games together with. I learned mouse and keyboard on Escape from Tarkov.
Oh wow!
If you know anything about Escape
Talk
from
about
Tarkov,
jumping into the deep end. Jeez.
Yes. Tactical.
It's stressful. I'm kind of terrified of the game more than I enjoy it 90% of the time, I think. But so we're like, okay, we need a more chill game to play together. And he's like, okay, I play Destiny. I have several hours, or several hundred hours at that time. I can teach you. Like that could be our game together.
Nice.
I said, okay, I'll give it a try. I'm a little overwhelmed, but whatever.
We have been told she is cracked, so
that's lies. But we went through all of the campaigns like within like 3 days, and I, from then on out, I was kind of hooked. I've always been a story person, story and lore, so I definitely kind of dove into that more than anything else.
Now you did them in sequence as far as like he took you back like what, D2, D1, like the whole thing?
No, sorry. All of the D2 campaigns.
So did you get to play Red War? You got Red War. Nice.
I came in right at the tail end of that new player experience. Like I got loaded into the Red War campaign right away.
Nice.
So I was very grateful for kind of when I joined for joining late.
Yeah.
Because it was
that don't exist no more.
Yeah, exactly.
It should
So
still
now-
exist,
It
but
does.
it does not.
You just have to play it in pieces over the course of 3 months.
Right. Yeah. But no, I live tweeted the whole thing. I got like when you get, kicked off of the map by Gaul or whoever, like I was like live tweeting, why did he just punt that guy off? And then I was like, oh my god, that was me. Like I was the little guy,
I lost my light.
yeah. But it was super overwhelming. So I largely I had no intention of ever streaming it. And I didn't for the first probably 4 months off stream. I found a group that we did all 7 raids that were in within like a day and a half. It was the definition of jumping in with both feet. Like I was like, I don't know anything about raiding. I don't know. I don't think I had done so much as like more than just a Vanguard strike, right? So but I was like, oh, I'll trust him. And I loved it. I was super, super lucky to again do the raids like Crown and all of that they left shortly after I got all booted up. So I got to experience that.
I want to back you up because that is diving in like, again with both feet, hardcore from strikes to raid, from campaign to strikes to raids is a hierarchy there. So with the raid mechanics and the puzzles and stuff like that, like were there any particular raids that stood out more to you that you like? I really enjoyed. Like this might be my favorite raid.
Yes. So still to this day, Last Wish, Dreaming City, anything is my favorite, but Last Wish is my favorite raid. I okay, now I'm like 0 for 2 on Travis's.
No one wins with Travis in here, so you're fine. Don't even worry about it.
That's okay. I can stick to this one. To be completely honest, I was super interested just by the look of it at first. I mean, I just think Dreaming City aesthetic is the coolest.
One of the best skyboxes in Destiny history.
But when it like when Vault Encounter finally clicked, I was like, this is the coolest thing. Like, and again, I was completely blind, so I didn't even have any like context to like what a big bad wolf vault was, right? It was just kind of like, okay, I'll join up and I'll do whatever. And as I'm learning, I'm like, oh my god, this is so much more in depth than anybody told me it was gonna be, And it was right there. I was kind of like, okay, if this can kind of like play on that part of my brain that really likes the puzzles and the figuring out and the kind of chaos of, I love like cross comms in team play. I just think it's the most chaotic like beauty of all time.
Right, you two over here, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's like you just have to like listen among all 6 voices of like which one you're talking to. I just think it's a cool thing. But yeah, I love Last Wish. I did enjoy pretty much any of like the PvE stuff I got thrown into. I will say I was just an abysmal Warlock. I mean, I'm a Warlock main. I was just abysmal at jumping.
Woman of culture.
Absolutely.
You're good.
Just the worst.
You don't have to say abysmal. It's implied.
Oh, thank you.
Say Warlock.
No, you're a woman of class. She knows things. She's been through things.
Listen, I'm cultured now, and I'm still on Warlock, so I guess I'm doing something intentionally. But no, I'm still awful at jumping, right? So Whisper was, so many people look back on it and they're like, that's the best exotic mission of all time and blah blah blah. I had the worst, like that was one of the few times in a video game where I was like, nobody talk to me, let me do my thing.
Can I interrupt you?
Yes,
I empathize with you as a Warlock, as a bad jumper, right? The worst thing in jumping puzzles is that when everyone figures it out and you don't want anyone to talk to you because you last. You're behind.
We're all waiting down at the bottom of Vaulted Glass looking up at you.
Man. And for me particularly, it's the blind jumps and jumping up, like floofing up sometimes to get it. And when they don't mantle, like D2 save, you got to say for D1, there was no mantle. At least D2, there has a mantle for Warlock sometimes. But I just thought it was funny that you go through that same stress that I would go through as a Warlock, as a horrible jumper.
Floating with your gun to your side and your face just like hits the side of a cliff and you just slowly fall down. And you're like, man, like, now everybody's watching me. I'm more mad than I was at the start of this jump. And it was just, that was one of the very few times, like even throughout my COD days where I was like, nobody even look at me. Like, go do your thing. I'll meet you there. do your thing for the 8 minutes that you need to do, and I'll see you on the other side. And it was just not. So looking back on it, absolutely, I could do it. I could probably do it better than I did, however many years ago. But I don't have that like rose tinted glasses of Whisper. I hope it never comes back, because then I'll never be expected to do it.
At some point, we got to get back a Whisper, 0 hour. We got to see those again at some point.
Yeah.
Icebreaker.
I'm gonna like plead ignorance even when it does come back, and I know I'm gonna act like I don't, and then we're just not gonna ever do it on stream ever again, because thank God that was before my streaming days, because chat would have seen another side of me that I prefer that they never see.
Fair enough. E, you was gonna jump in. I had to get some Warlock love. That was funny.
No, I'm trying to think of like jumping puzzles. Crota's in on the ship puzzle. How'd that go?
Ooh.
See, now I'm good with that.
Okay, so that wasn't so bad.
By the time it came out, for me, for my first time doing it, I had like 3 years of figuring out how to jump adequately.
Okay.
Whisper was just too
that was
early
early
on in my career.
It was early. And Voidlock, I'm surprised. Most people, so I would say there's with a lot of well locks and not too many arc locks, but Voidlock is very specific.
It likes to blow stuff up. What? I'm not surprised.
The whole devour,
Yeah.
the purple energy. What was it that drew you to that subclass?
Honestly, I think just Nova Bomb. Like in general, I just thought it was super cool, and I was like, okay, let's see what this does.
I'm still jealous of Nova Bomb as a Titan, because we don't have any one-off supers.
One-offs,
that we get to throw. And even the one that we're going to get in final shape, we have to throw 3 times to do our full damage. It's not just... But yeah, none of them are just like one and done. Everything is always... Hold on, let me pull out another hammer just to try and stack up to your one giant floating Nova Bomb.
Yeah.
Not fair.
Yeah, no, I did Arc Warlock a lot. I liked it, and that was like pre 3.0. Again, I enjoy it now. I don't know, Voidlock just caught me, and now I think it's more of a nostalgia thing than anything. If I'm going into high-end content and I don't desperately need to be a well lock, I will be on a Void Warlock. My survivability is just considerably better, and I feel like I play better and more confidently whenever I have my little purple orb, and especially now with Child of the Old Gods, the little void buddy going and doling out the sucks.
Yeah, the new arms.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Those are so good. Absolutely, no doubt. I respect. And now obviously we have to deal with those other classes. What is it, the Titan?
Yeah.
So Eddie,
2 Titans on the other side of the podcast. How's it going, sir?
Yeah. Eddie, so Eddie, Titan love.
Good luck finishing any encounters without us, by the way.
Any Titan love? Any specific subclasses or anything that drew you?
Like, so all jokes aside, like my group of friends is pretty well balanced without even meaning to be. Like we have, probably about equal amounts hunters and Titans and Warlocks. I do not love Titans very much.
Say it with your chat. It's okay. It's okay. You're amongst friends. It's okay.
Come into an Iron Banner stream and you'll hear it maybe a little forcefully.
Well, I understand that one. I don't like him in there either, but there's a reason. Especially if it's like Iron Banner, and now with the Fortress mode, it's just bubbles and wells and walls, and it's the whole thing. Yeah.
See, and then that's when Nova Bomb is even better, because they pop a bubble and you
blow that thing right on up.
Absolutely, and everybody inside of it.
I've been a Solar Titan through and through for a very long time, so I don't usually mess with all that stuff. Our bubble's useless anyway. You just got to go well.
It is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm a bubble
Now that
Titan.
being said, I really, really do enjoy playing the other classes and subclasses. I am not on the Strand train the way other people are, and I don't know if I just haven't given it. I have fun when I play it, and I had fun whenever it first, we first got it and stuff. It's just not like I'm gonna boot up on a Strand whatever today. It's just not really something that comes to mind right away.
Okay.
But again, that could largely be for lack of trying or lack of time in. But yeah, I always boot up on a Warlock unless I have something specific to do. But I did promise my chat that I'm going to play my other 2 classes pre-final shape, and also clean out my vault. So we'll see which one comes to fruition.
Yeah, strength takes a little while. I think as a lock, I think the super is very powerful. It's criminally underrated, and I would highly recommend do the suspend build, the shackle grenade, spend them up, or use the consume the grenade, and then every shot you have, I believe it's Weaver's Trance, get them up. And the aspect that is still underrated to me is the one where you get the actual thread link, throw it, and then it makes them suspend. You can really control rooms on high end content. So I've come around on it, but it took a while.
Yeah.
It took a while.
And now how do we feel about the new bow, Wishkeeper?
Is that wrong? I love bows. Don't get me wrong. I've used a lot of bows.
Be my follow-up.
No. Like Wishender is one of my babies. I've used Trinity Ghoul, Layman Arc, like depending on the activity and champions. And I love anytime I can use a bow. And probably most of my solo flawlesses at some point have used a bow. Wishkeeper has not sold me on its need yet, especially because that means I'm not using Wish. I'm gonna get him screwed up. Wishkeeper hasn't sold me on the need to get rid of Wishender. Got him right. What? Yeah. Anybody else have thoughts? Because those are mine.
Yeah, I think similar. I'm sorry, Trav.
Wishender's clearly the better weapon.
Yeah.
It's got a unique trait that you can use to exploit a whole bunch of things in the game. I mean, isn't that why we do this? So that we can avoid playing the game as Bungie intended?
That's Teddy's mentality.
Yeah.
Shout out to Teddy.
Because technically, what is it, like a wall hack, and it has anti-barrier.
Wall hack, right? Anti-barrier, and it hits targets like 2 to 3 times, depending on what it does. And it just hits like a truck. So, yeah. Kind of hard to be like, oh, let me shoot 6 times and try and charge up my one little suspend polygon over here. Or I can just like actually delete things.
Yeah.
It hasn't sold itself to me yet. I mean, I'll get all the catalysts and be done with it, but then it's probably going to get tucked away in a vault when I'm done.
I have a question.
Do you disagree, Brianna?
No. I like the idea of it. I think it needs something to it. Like whether like somebody in chat was saying, like higher impact, or just something that gives you a little bit more payoff for having to shoot something, 6 times or whatever.
I think part of it for me was that when it was in development, it might have been pretty good, but somewhere when it was probably initially made, and now Suspend also got nerfed pretty hard, which I really enjoyed as a Titan for a while, and that's probably what kind of stopped me playing Titan.
Not allowed to enjoy it. That was your mistake.
I'm sorry.
Enjoy things.
I'm sorry. Destiny, Oots, we can't have nice things here. That's how it goes. But yeah, I was like, the Suspend build was fun as a Titan. I used it for a while, and then I kind of dropped off Strand as well when the Suspend nerf happened. So then as this is based around Suspend, and they last for a couple seconds in the air, and then you get a little bonus to Suspend. I don't know. It's just one of those. Ebontis got Suspend nerf because I liked it. I'm not as powerful as Salted Greppo. Don't give me that much credit. Come on.
You're saying Suspend got suspended.
Yeah. I think Suspend nearly got expelled, but that's a whole different problem.
So.
I got a question. Yeah. I have a question, yeah.
Oh no.
So yeah, Brianna, he keeps them interesting. That's what he does.
You and I have something in common, which is that we are the 2 panelists here who have raided with our loved ones, our significant other. And that is true. This is important. I can't talk to Ebontis and Cog about this because they don't know what I'm talking about. I mean, Cog and I have raided together, and our relationship is certainly closer than that with me and my fiance, both physically and emotionally, but not the same thing. So my question for you is, what is the best or worst part of raiding with your significant other? And do you feel like it brought you together, or do you feel like sometimes it threatened to tear you apart? Woo. This is my question.
I wish I could think of something like ultra clever, but to be completely honest, like raiding with my fiance is one of my favorite things in the world to do. I think especially like in
Winter's Wolf Cry, he's safe.
Yes, that would be fiance. I think that it's definitely funny in terms of like I'll look back on clips or something and I'll hear the way he and I talk to each other versus the way everybody else talks to each other. And it's kind of like, oh, you can tell we're a couple. Like you can get just the audio and tell that we're a couple. But all things considered, we have played tons of games together, and especially games like Tarkov and stuff where Like our communication isn't always in full sentences. It's just one of those like, you
Yeah,
know,
but
you
if you're
kinda know
together,
how
it
to
doesn't have
communicate.
to be. That's I
Right,
mean, you and
right.
your significant other, whether wife, boy, you're together long enough.
Yeah.
Communication's different. That's fair. I get that.
Yeah. So there are definitely, and keep in mind we're long distance. So some of the times where I would like to say, go into a room and say, hey, why did you wipe to that? I can't. So I have a little bit of time to blow off some steam there.
I do. I have been requested
You
asking
haven't
about
been
a butt.
tested.
There was a buddy
You haven't
moment in
been
Tarkov. What's the buddy
Oh my
moment?
God. So the running joke is when
Sorry,
VoIP
I
was
have to do a chat asked. I have to.
when VoIP was first added in Tarkov, I didn't really talk because again, I grew up in COD lobbies and I know what happens when you're you know, a woman's voice in VoIP, especially in a game.
That's
so
no joke, dude.
That's true.
Real,
Yep.
dude. Yeah,
I could
hearing
take
a
up
woman's
hours.
voice, a woman's voice in lobby is like somebody brought up like politics or religion. Like it just sets
It's
off like a bomb.
it
It's
is
crazy.
it is like formulaic. Like there is a pause and then there is chaos. It is
Yeah.
And it's like you don't whatever. Like we don't have enough time.
It's the ultimate dog noises trigger. Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
That is the definition of dog noises in a lobby.
Dog noises, dude, for sure.
I hate that this is sticking, actually.
Yeah,
It's
I know,
good.
man.
It's actually
I love
good.
it. Love it.
But no, so we're in a raid and he talks for me basically. Like we're in a Discord call and if somebody comes up and is asking what we're doing or whatever, he's the one who responds. And he was I forget what he was saying, but he basically said, my buddy over here needs this. And I like took a second.
Buddy.
I was like, chat, did he just call me his buddy? Like, so it was just it just unraveled to this set of memes of like the one Avengers clip where Iron Man calls out or Tony Stark calls out Cap for like saying shit
language, yeah.
And so they put like oh, did you just call her buddy? Like so it just went into this whole like I think his name in my Discord is still like streamer's buddy. Like it just became this thing where it's like,
that's
man,
kind of amazing.
If I ever called my fiance buddy, she'd be like, "Did you just break up with me in chat?" Straight up, like,
I need to talk to you in private, buddy.
So yeah, and I mean, all from good intentions because he didn't want to say my girlfriend, because then that does the same thing as me. But
now the wedding invitations are, buddy is marrying Brianna, and it's like, all right, we've taken this too far. But you have to lean into it on some of those. You just do.
Yeah, I accepted that I got demoted. So
when are you guys going to not be long distance, and who's moving to whom?
He is moving to me.
Good. That's the correct choice. Canada is a hellscape.
Now,
okay. Great.
But no, he is moving to me, and hopefully sometime in the near future, it is a logistical nightmare. So we are.
I can only imagine.
It's been pre-COVID that we've been doing this, so I am ready for it to be over. I think we all are, not just you and I.
Take your buddy.
Do you, pal, take your buddy in this lawfully casual ceremony to be next to each other?
The worst part is, as we're saying this, our officiant is also in chat, so please don't give him any ideas.
Oh, that's
no, this is all ammunition. All ammunition. Please take notes.
That's perfect.
Please take notes.
Well,
I appreciate that.
I'm excited when you guys are in person to see if raiding with him or gaming with him changes at all, because I will say there's some tense off mic moments when you're sitting on the same couch.
You mute up and you're like, "Hey, what the?"
You're like, yo, could you please? Are you?
Stand on the plate.
We're trying to finish this raid tonight, right? Like that's the goal.
Now we have survived multiple day one raid experiences together, so I
feel
like
impressive. That's impressive.
That's a real
relationship. That's character. Right?
It's like that may be the second test of a relationship. COVID was the first test, and you guys have done.
That's the last test. If you can do that, get married right now. That's my. That's crazy.
Yep, they're saying he's a keeper. Apparently, you've passed day one raid experiences. Yeah,
day one is
day
one, man. You ever start a day one raid and you can tell how it's gonna get because everybody starts a day one raid the same. ultra nice, eggshell walking, because everyone knows we are going to hate each other in 10 hours. And so it starts off with everybody being like, guys, let's set up like the most calm communication. Everybody just chill out. You guys need a break? Everybody need a back massage? Like, let's chill. Because that someone's going to do something, and after 8 hours, people's brains aren't going to be working right, and you're going to hate all of your best friends.
So what if I told you that the second part is accurate for my group of friends, but the first part never happens?
So
either?
it just starts.
You guys don't start off level set. It starts out bad.
I would love to say that we start on the rails, no matter when.
Okay, that's crazy, because certainly earlier on in Destiny, before there was like a raid canon, a raid meta, right? It was like, all right, everybody just starts out like already kind of frustrated, But I feel like day one raids, everybody's been in those groups where things are just like you're at each other's throats and nobody wants to take each other's advice or listen to each other. And so now there's like this weird, like creepy calm before
it's like
everybody knows it's gonna happen, so they're just like being extra.
See, I got lucky for like the last 3 or 4.
Yeah, we know you played with celebs. Shut up.
Oh my god. No, but the thing is,
I played with the best raiders in the game.
It wasn't
we all respected each other.
We have finished 1, and it was Root of Nightmares. So it's not
That's
like we're
true.
like the best team.
I finished more than you with LFG team,
exactly. So I was like, you finished more. But I will say it was the idea that I didn't know who I was getting into, because a lot of content creators together, I'm like, that is a lot of people who likely want to get this thing done, could be a lot of stress. And somehow the group that I was with managed to be the chillest like I've ever had for an experience. But it was a very good juxtaposition from my previous raid, where it was like there were about 2 or 3 people that everybody's like gonna pull your hair out for kind of thing. But you almost don't want to say it, like, to the 1 or 2 that keep dying. Because if you've been there, it's like there are 1 or 2 people that keep dying over and over, and we can't do it without you, but I don't want to call you out directly, but what the hell are you doing kind of thing, and you don't want to do that. So then when we went over, and it's like everybody was like chill, everybody's dying enough and all those things, so it's just you own it if you die and you move on. It was just, and you guys go pure chaos all the time, it sounds like. Chad is, by the way, confirming everything you're saying, that it is chaos all the time, so that is great.
And now I will say, like, it is chaos all the time, and of course we get frustrated toward the end. It would be, not possible as a human to not get frustrated doing the same task for stupid amounts of hours. I'm very lucky. Like that is kind of the overarching theme of my experience in Destiny, is I am very lucky to have the group that I have, because I'm one of the most competitive people on the planet. I have a fiance thing with that, but I'm one of the most competitive people on the planet. And I definitely hate when I'm doing something badly. So I get frustrated, and then of course everybody gets frustrated, and it's just so of course, we have that. But I'm very lucky that it's usually like okay, we need to take a walk, and then we come back, and then you're making jokes again. Like it's not like a once you're down in the hole, you're down there forever. But the fiance thing is, I'm a very competitive person. He is a very good sport. And sometimes it just grinds my gears, because it is like,
he's too like patient, and you're like, have some urgency, damn it, like that.
No, or like we'll be like 1v1. We do a lot of like random loadout.
We
do like random loadout, like
1v1 me, bro. I'm sorry, buddy.
1v1 me, buddy.
Or like like a private match where we do random loadouts and just mess around on Destiny. And he'll kill me, and I'll be like raging, like foaming at the mouth, raging.
And he was like, you can do better next time. You'll get it.
Or I'll kill him, and he'll be like, wow, that was a great shot. I'm like, don't tell me that. Like, so that is a very, that is probably more than raiding together. If we are playing a PvP something together, whether it's against each other or, he's saying good shot to the other team, that's where that's
where the disconnect.
You're like, that was a great kill, and you're like, shut up.
His good sportsmanship annoys you. Yeah, I am prone to that sometimes. Where like people are being a little too positive, and I'm like, do you guys want to win this thing, or do you want to be nice about it? Come on, I think we're trying to win. Like I'll just get like,
you want to win or be friends, because it's not both.
Like I don't want to learn how to be a good loser. I don't want to learn how to be a loser at all. I don't want to.
I had to understand that behavior.
I had a teammate once in trials who I was, me and my buddy Mason were carrying a third guy through trials, and he kept complimenting other teams' work. And being like, wow, that was a really good shot. And we're like, yeah, maybe you could learn something from him. I just like snapped and said that to him.
Well, Travis, of all things,
he was just like, he's like, oh.
All you do is roast people, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
On that.
It's like, hey, maybe take notes, huh? Next time he shoots you in the face and kills you. All right.
What did he do right?
Maybe do that.
You're doing none of that.
Travis like, stop getting picked.
Just sit in the back and don't die so early. Just for 5 seconds, be alive.
I really respect the people who do carries for like money or just like as on stream just for fun, because like I've done it many times on occasion and my fuse is way too short to, because I get mad when somebody's not pulling their weight. It doesn't feel fair to me, you know. That's just my capitalist brain works that way. So that's funny.
I love it.
But no, now all things considered, I don't think I'm mean. I'm just competitive. But again, I had to prove my worth to even get to play Duck Hunt, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, no, you've been fighting for a controller your entire life, and you just feel like
man, nobody's taking it from me.
So, questions: for the times you and your fiance get to see each other, have board games ever been involved? You just not even open that.
I don't know if we've ever played board games. We have done like Super Smash. We've done Mario Kart. We've done we played It Takes Two together, which was really fun.
That's a great game.
Yeah, actually we had a bunch of people meet in Ohio, actually at my parents' house for New Year's Eve, and we did like Super Smash and stuff like that. And the physical violence could occur at some points if but like Super Smash is that game, right? Like you get edge guarded or somebody like picks you up on Donkey Kong and dive bombs off the cliff. Like I'm standing up. Yeah. The controller's being set down for a second.
Yeah. Pause.
Let's do this outside. Separate arena out front for sure.
Oh, Mario Kart, blue shelling when you're in first place the whole time, and you just get screwed over for the entire last lap. Yep, been there.
Mm-hmm. Classic. Oh man.
That's the Nintendo games it's all fun and games when you're playing Destiny, you know. But
then it gets serious with Nintendo.
You play a game of Mario Party, like that's like we're deciding who gets to keep the pets. You know what I mean? Like this is not for pleasure.
No, that's real. No. It's real. The competitive aspect. And just quickly, you guys play trials as well, or no? Yeah.
I traditionally no. So we've done like comp stuff here and there. We were actually just talking. We went on like this. One of my favorite recent Destiny memories is me, him, and our friend Ben we were like, oh, we'll play a little bit of comp one night, have some drinks and hang out and stuff. And we went on this like heater of it was like 16 win streak or whatever. And I looked outside. I took out my headphones and I was like, are those birds? And we ended up playing until like 7 in the morning because we were on this great, great streak. But I know my limits of my skill in Destiny PvP, and threes is not much of my vibe. I like it. I enjoy it. But I mean, I competed in the G1 thing at GCX and got absolutely embarrassed. So I know my lane. I'll stay in it.
That's totally fair.
Right here.
Speaking of some drinks, we have Drinkstiny. So I need to hear about this and some of the possible weapons and beverages that have come to pass previously. So tell us about Drinkstiny.
Yeah, so Drinkstiny started quite a few years ago. It's gone on a couple hiatuses. Just I've moved and stuff like that. It was originally an every other week thing, but it's coming back and it'll be an every month thing because every other week was a bit much. But we choose an exotic weapon. Okay. We make a cocktail themed around it. And then we either do, Crucible, usually 6s because it's easier. It's kind of our community night thing, so it's easier to get people through. So whether it's Crucible or raids or whatever it may be, and we drink that drink and only use that weapon. And that's our community night for that evening. So the first one was Risk Runner, and it was like an electric blue lemonade. It was like a vodka drink.
Yep.
We've done Wither Horde, that was White Russians.
Okay, nice.
Just stuff like, and usually if it's a primary weapon, we almost always go into Crucible because again, the plan is to only use that weapon. So heavy
I'm not gonna
ammo
go do a
makes
raid
sense.
or something, with the
exactly.
Risk Runner. Yeah.
But I mean, we did a raid night of Whisper, where we if you had heavy ammo, you were using Whisper only.
What was the drink with Whisper?
Whisper only.
Oh God, I can't remember. I have a document somewhere of what they all are, but
well, I feel like Sunshot, Tommy's Matchbook. You've got like Goldschlager, Fireball. There's some. I could see some working.
Yeah.
Black Raspberry Margarita. I want one of those right now. That sounds great.
Yeah, it was like a really dark margarita that almost looked like the Taken or the ornament on Whisper, like the little black.
I don't recommend it because it typically goes downhill quickly, but Jaeger bombs probably feel like they belong, and some of those take it for like
right.
What am I thinking of? What's the hand cannon that's taken?
Was it Malfeasance?
Yes. Yeah, that would be one.
Yeah,
Full Moon Teeny.
Oh yeah, so we did one of my favorites was kind of like we did Sunshot versus Hawk Moon. So each one had its cocktail and you had to vote which one you liked better, and that was the drink that you made and the weapon that you used. And then we did private matches with Hawk Moon versus Sunshot.
Nice.
And just it's a fun community night way. And of course, like if you don't drink, you could still participate, just use the weapon, right? But it gets pretty chaotic. I despise Jotun and I despise Dares of Eternity. So naturally we did a Dares. Yes. Naturally we did Dares with Jotun night, and we made a cinnamon toast crunch cocktail because toaster and all of that.
Nice. Well done.
So yeah, sometimes the drink is themed after the look of the weapon, sometimes it's themed after the ability of it, sometimes it's themed just after memes or, inside jokes of it.
Have you seen the cocktails in the Destiny cookbook?
I have. I think there's I used a similar one to the Sunshot one, I think is one, but I have seen those.
I feel like a mudslide with a gummy worm would kind of work with Whisper of the Worm, maybe. You can get a little creative there.
Yeah, and you got to get fun with it, right?
Yeah.
Because, and especially like, there's only so many like cinnamon flavored drinks we can do for solar weapons or whatever. Yeah. So we get kind of creative with it.
Awesome. I love it. Very, very unique mix. No question. And then the streaming, what you're known for. We're going to get into that, how that started.
Yeah. So I started stream in end of 2019 with Fortnite primarily. Fortnite and Minecraft. I started sitting on my
really. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exact same activity. It just depended on the night. No, I was streaming from my Xbox, literally like connect cam and all. And was, did it just like sitting on my bed because I had been a member of Dr. Lupo's community on Twitch for quite a few years. And had made friends, and it was just kind of like, well, we're already playing games together. I might as well stream it for anybody who's not, playing with us. Didn't really think much of it. And within like a week, I was like, okay, I guess I'm getting a PC, it quickly. Did Minecraft and Fortnite for a while. Streamed some of The Witcher, actually streamed all 3 of The Witcher games.
Nice.
And all of that. And then eventually found my way to streaming Destiny, and that's been my main game since. But I dress up like Bob Ross and paint. I do I built, puzzles on streams or stuff like that. I try and do a little bit of everything.
Nice.
Yeah. Kind of takes me to what's coming up actually very soon, but a lot of before we get to the charity work, which you've done some amazing stuff there, I kind of want to get into, I don't know if you want to talk about your job, but it's very intriguing for just like a researcher at St. Jude's. I know you worked with your hematologist working on like sickle cell and that type of stuff. Like, what was the, career progression from college to get into that specific of a field? Was St. Jude something that called to you? Did you happen to be there? Like, how did that whole progression happen? How did you land there?
Yeah, I knew that I wanted to go into medicine. This is super cliche, but like since I was a little kid, I had my first surgery like on my hand or something whenever I was 10, and I met an anesthesiologist, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Like
Mm.
I was blown away. I was like, "You're putting me to sleep and then waking me up whenever the heck you want. Like that's crazy." Um, so since then I kind of have been working toward it. Whenever I was in undergrad, I went to Ohio State for undergrad, and I started working at a children's hospital there in Columbus, just as like I was supposed to be like an unpaid intern, and it ended up being a job for most of my undergrad. I was super
Yes.
lucky, um, and I knew I was semi interested in pediatrics, but I didn't know that that was my calling or whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
And as soon as I started working there, I was like, okay, I'm never getting away from pediatrics. Like once you're there and you're working in a NICU with little babies, you're like, this is my calling if there is such a thing. Um, so after I graduated undergrad, I went down to Florida to pursue my master's degree in anatomy. Um, that's where I started streaming because honestly, I was just kind of lonely.
Fair.
I was 2,000 miles away from anybody I knew.
Mhm.
And then completed my master's degree in the midst of COVID.
Wow.
Went back to Ohio State as an employee. Worked in rheumatology and immunology with adults.
Mm.
Enjoyed it, but didn't love it. So
Gotcha.
that kind of reaffirmed the whole like I belong in a pediatric field. Um, and on a particularly confident day, I guess I was like, I'll see if St. Jude has any openings because
Okay.
in the field of pediatrics, it's St. Jude is kind of like, the upper echelon of
Absolutely.
Yeah.
and they I don't think I realized how small of an employee base it really has under its umbrella. So I guess I didn't realize how low the chances are. I think I probably wouldn't have applied if I didn't realize or if I realized. Um, but I applied. I got the interview. And after a grueling like 6-month process, I
Oof.
was moving down to Memphis, Tennessee, and
Mm.
I will actually in beginning of March, that will be my 2 years that I've been working there.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I do research with sickle cell disease, primarily in gene therapy.
Mhm.
Um, so it's a lot of, taking the kids' own cells, modifying them with whatever product we may have, um, basically telling the cells that this is what you're supposed to look like, putting
Mhm.
it back into the body, and hoping that the rest of the body says, "Okay, this is what we should look like," and, you cycle the good cells through, and
That's
that's
STEM,
the
right?
hope. Yeah. Yeah, stem cells.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
and now I can talk about it, which is super cool because I wasn't able to. It just got FDA recently a trial for older kids, so 12 and above, just got approved by the FDA as an approved treatment. So it is no longer technically experimental. It can
Mm.
be, you know, given to people from around the world and potentially cure the symptoms of their sickle cell. So,
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
yeah.
really awesome. Big time, and especially coming from the Bronx and seeing that in my community a lot, and to see you work in that, because it's a very deep, debilitating condition for those who have to experience it, and that's really awesome that you contributed in that way, and the research and the advancements in the field that's been going on since then. So yeah, that's
Thank
awesome. It's
you.
pretty dope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been I I knew, you when you're in school and you're learning all of these things in these books and you hear, okay, the symptoms are frequent hospitalizations and pain and stuff like that. You think and you're like, wow, that's awful. I can't imagine a 7-year-old going through that.
Oof.
And then you see the 7-year-old going through that, and it's
Oh,
completely different, right?
brutal.
I mean,
Yeah.
because then you start thinking, like, I have a nephew who's around that age, and I'm like, he cares about his cars and who he doesn't wanna share them with, and that's
Mhm.
all 7-year-olds should have to worry about.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
not about I've been in the hospital for 20 of the last 30 days or whatever it may be. So it definitely is very rewarding to be in a field that you believe in what you're doing. I know like that's the dream, of course, but medicine isn't always that like one-to-one reciprocity. There's a lot of time investment, and that's not to say every single day I walk away like I changed one whole life today. Some days I sit and answer emails too, just like anybody else, but it is a really fun place to be as a worker, a patient, a doctor, anybody. Everybody's kind of behind the same cause, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's kind of hearing you talk about like your calling towards kids makes sense because I had an aunt, lost her just actually last year. She worked in the NICU for damn near as long as I can remember. So it does sound like if you get started in there or you kind of figure out that that's your calling, to get away from it seems like it's probably not going to happen because, as you said, what you see, what you're around, and if you can do anything to just make any of their lives better and stuff like that, which
Right.
kind of takes me into part of like your connection now. It's like, because when I met you, it was at GCX, literally just on the floor, kind of bumped into you and chatting, and then talking with Jared and everything. And then I kind of wanted to ask you how kind of that connection happened, because I know the Bungie Foundation for the longest time, like I've been helping fundraise for them for like 4 or 5 years now, I think. And the iPads for Kids program is something I never thought about, but as soon as I heard of it, I was like, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they're going through, as you said, some of the worst times of their lives, the parents too, but it's like, if somehow there's any kind of distraction, I was like, that makes perfect sense to see that in there. So that was just a really cool program to hear about. Now they do direct relief as well, but just kind of wanted to see now with all the charity work you've done. I looked on your Instagram. I think it was like last year or something, you'd helped raise over $70,000 so far. I don't even know what your total is up to now at this point. So
That's total overall. Yeah.
Okay.
The past 2.5 years. Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing. So now you get to combine both. You get to combine your streaming and your love of gaming and Destiny paired with like, all the work you do for, I mean, could you have asked to have everything land like, just keep flipping the coin and they all land on heads for a little while? So it seems like you've done pretty well.
Yeah, it's funny because for the longest time I was so adamant that I wasn't going to let the two worlds collide. I have Brianna the scientist and all-time Brianna the streamer who says things that get clipped out of context and brought up immediately.
Okay.
No.
Yep.
But no, I was so adamant on it, and I was kind of resistant early on. The very first charity stream I ever did, because I did know that I wanted, as soon as I started to stream and kind of had a little bit of a momentum or a following, I realized that was always kind of a no-brainer to do some type of charity stream. So I started to do charity streams for the Cerebral Palsy Foundation because my first job at the First Children's Hospital had to do with cerebral palsy and developmental disorders. And I remember it was like a 16-hour charity stream. I was so nervous. I'd only been streaming for like 4 months at the time. And we ended up raising like $2,300. And that was like, I mean, that's more than I would ever have been able to contribute as, a broke grad student. So it was just like, oh, this is the reach that I can have even with a small community. And it's just kind of pinballed from there. I started with the Bungie Foundation shortly after, once I started to kind of get into the Destiny community. And then once I started working at St. Jude, Sam Lupo is a really good friend, Dr. Lupo's wife, and she reached out and said, hey, do you want to participate in the GCX charity marathon? And that was 2022, so that was 2 GCXs ago. And I was like, yes, absolutely. And so she actually stuck me the spot right before Lupo, which was a graveyard shift. But it was cool to be the next to last block and pass it off to him. But again, from 4 to 8 Eastern in the morning is tough. So I was like, okay, temper your expectations, make it so your total rounds off to a nice, pretty number. And I think it was like in 4,000 range. And we raised over $20,000.
Holy
And it was
crap.
like,
Wow.
oh, okay, so we could do this.
That's
so then,
amazing.
yeah, it was again beyond anything. And then I got to go to I drove to GCX that morning. And there were people who were like coming up to me and saying, I hope you enjoy your job at St. Jude. And it was just kind of like, oh God, okay, this is happening, and
And
I
the
was like, okay, I
connection is
don't
there.
hate
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just weird. It was it took a little bit of getting used to, but then it's been incredible. Like now that the worlds are meshed, it feels really, really cool. I've been super lucky to be involved with like the Play Live team on the Alsac side of St. Jude, who have incorporated me and invited me to, the Build Against Cancer things and GCX and all of that. And I am just blown away that, we've gotten to make an impact not only as my community directly, but participating in greater causes, which is super cool.
Super awesome. Love that synergy and to see the worlds collide like that. And then you kind of set that expectation, kind of humble, and then to exceed it, right? To see that the support is there is super dope for the community. And yeah, I agree with Three Geeks. The gaming community as a whole, tremendously charitable with some of the most amazing people. And that's one thing we can't take away, especially from GCX, the Destiny community, St. Jude's. And ever since I've been a part of it, obviously Last Word was kind of founded in a sense based on, charitable efforts. I was like, I want to go to a con. And that's how I met E. And then, the thing took off from there. But yeah, that's super dope because I don't think the community gets enough credit for this. And
Yeah.
it's something that really needs to be highlighted, especially the cause. The cause is really cool.
In a community that's filled with dog noises, it's nice to see some positivity.
Yeah, never mind. I can't even come up with one that's the antithesis of dog noises, but
Yeah, that's probably okay. But no, I mean that's totally. I mean, what's that hashtag gaming does good? I've heard them use that in a previous year and all those things. It was kind of one of those. I can't remember which year. It might have been 22, but I don't remember which. It was one of the times you put on a little VR headset and then you actually got to see. And I didn't know about ringing the bell when kind of they're in for their last treatment. I was just like, hold on, I'm gonna leave the headset on. I'll like wipe away a couple tears and just like get a little emotional in there. I mean, all those things. None of that stuff's. It was not great to watch my aunt go through what she went through, but I mean, she did at least live into her 80s. When somebody's facing that at a young age and never quite know the outcome and stuff like that, I don't envy any parent in that, but I also don't envy, like obviously you said, what the kids are going through, and their kids are lucky enough sometimes to be like just some of the best troopers in all of those. Because you get to see somebody going through just some of the worst, and somehow they have pretty high spirits a lot of the time. So it is kind of. It's a little refreshing to see sometimes when there's a lot of not great stuff in the world. It is good to see the positivity.
And I think like children as a whole are kind of like this, symbol for hope, like at their core, just, childhood and children and just the overall feeling that you get when you're either helping or talking to or hanging around children is just hope for the future, right? And that's what we should be focusing on, whether it's getting them through a day with an iPad or getting them through the day by completing a treatment but being in a good spirits about it. People talk about it all the time, but one thing that blows me away about St. Jude is it to every corner of every room, it is so like masterfully crafted to be a happy place. I don't know what my expectations were going into work that first day, but it was not for it to be as happy and carefree and lighthearted and bright as it truly was. It was, yeah, it blew me away. It still does, even after, however many days in on the campus. So
Nice.
I think it's really cool.
Super cool, super dope. Love it. Love to hear it. Love to see it.
So
Awesome
do
stuff.
you have like your crazy incentive or anything ridiculous coming up for, everything starts next week. So I was curious if you got anything ridiculous. I saw something about a Chewie mask in chat. So I was like, I have no idea what you're planning ahead here.
There's a Chewbacca mask that I put on that when you open your mouth, it makes chewy noises.
Nice.
That makes an appearance. I almost always do a Bob Ross thing where I dress, like I said, I dress up as Bob Ross and I follow along. That's usually a good.
Oh, are you left shark or right shark?
Left shark.
Good.
I think.
Isn't that the fun one?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Man, that shark suit, it came out for the first time like a couple months ago, and now it's going to be something I have to get into it is just this god awful monstrosity of a thing that I can't see or breathe or sit in, and I don't. The worst part is it has, you know what sharks have? They have flippers.
Yeah.
They don't have fingers.
No dexterity.
You know what you need to play video games? Fingers.
Not flippers.
So that has been fun. I have done that. I'm sure
Dark
that'll
suit
make a
1v1 against your community.
Oh god. I might take that. Oh yeah, there's the picture of it. There's one.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, the charity streams are always fun. I hadn't ever experienced Da Bomb before, the hot sauce. That was
Terrible.
oh man.
It's one of the worst hot sauces, man.
It tastes bad. Like I tried, there were a couple that I tried because I did a habanero teriyaki, which was actually, I use that now because it was actually good. Then I tried one that was ghost pepper, but not, I don't like vinegar so much, which I know kind of gets away from like buffalo sauce, but like it was a ghost pepper sauce, but it wasn't vinegar based. It was mostly just the pepper. I'm like, all right, this is like cooking me a little bit, like pretty good, but it wasn't bad. And then the bomb, I just like cried for 10 minutes. I coughed. Like it is all sorts of awful. So when you get into some of those moments, I'm just like, it tastes bad. Nothing is good about this. And it still stays on like the Hot One show. I swear I would rather do the top one than Da Bomb. Da Bomb is just awful. So anybody who's thinking about doing that, I'd pick something else. I promise it's not worth it.
Yeah, I was on the Build Against Cancer just last month, and we did the Truth or Dab Hot Ones challenge thing, and that was not it. The bomb was just like, as soon as it,
you can smell it
down, it was just a moment of like, oh no,
instant regret, instant regret.
Like I was just, and I can do spicy, but again, that's just like that's just a pain. There's no taste.
Exactly. That's the best way to describe it. It is just awful pain. Like, it's even some of the other ones, they're like, oh man, it's so spicy. But they talk about a couple of the flavors. That's just evil in a bottle. I'm pretty sure. I don't know how else to describe it. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just like devil in a bottle. It's just not good. So yeah, skip that if you can. That's all. You can do anything else. You can make me do like 10, 20, 50 burpees back there. I may be passed out on the floor, but at least it's not that. So it's fine. Yeah, but the charity streams are fun. I think I ended up in, you said the shark costume. I ended up as I think Woody in one of mine because I had that as an old Halloween costume. Yeah, it's kind of rough.
What better way to, raise money for charity than to just embarrass yourself?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's the least. It's for the kids. That's the thing. It's for the kids. I'm dying over here, but it's for the kids. I did one year where it was like every donation I'd spin an exercise wheel. I was so sore the next day. I was so sore the next day because it was every little thing, and I had a workout bench down here, a couple of free weights, so I could do most things. So I tried to mix it up so the muscles didn't overlap too much. I didn't plan it as well as I should have. Let's just say that I didn't get enough variety in there. So yeah. I mean, but that's kind of the thing. It's like, it is a dumb day, but then it was like, and even for me, I've not had one of the Lupo days where the man raises like $1 million, which is absolutely blows my mind, or anything even near yours. But even for me, it was like 3,500, $4,000 or something like that. I'm like, I couldn't donate that. So the fact that somehow my crazy couple of hours or whatever managed to pull just even that much together, still kind of, it's amazing. And then, you hear how much, like however much it takes to run St. Jude's for a minute or something. I forget if it's like $32 for a second or something. It's some crazy number and all of that. Every dollar matters. Every dollar helps. Exactly. So that's in the end. It's like every little bit matters, which is always cool.
Right. Yeah. I think just like a constant, like needing to feel like I need to pinch myself, whether it's at work or I'm raising money for the things that I do at work. It's just never in a million years did I think that like I would be here in any capacity, like talking to you as a St. Jude researcher or talking to you as a streamer. It just never was something that that I anticipated whenever I, hit go live on my Twitch app on my Xbox. So
with the Connect back in the day, you took it
Back
back
in
with
the
that
day.
one. I was
Connect
like,
and
I remember
crisscross
that.
applesauce back there. Just are you doing that right now, or
yes.
somebody called it out earlier, and I was gonna let it go for a while to see how long that stuck.
Awesome.
Well, do you guys have anything else to ask with regards to your history? I figure we could at least talk about the, how the current season of Destiny has wrapped up, since we do play this game occasionally, every now and then. Has everybody played the seasonal story and kind of finished it up?
Yep.
It happened to me.
It happened to you. All right. We're going to save you for last with that wonderful jovial set of words. Cog, what did you think of the finale? And just kind of overall thoughts on how the season wrapped up and just the season.
Kind of quiet. I thought that for me, the highlight, I think Riven for me got better as it went along. I wanted to see, what the motivations were, what was going on. And then I thought I think we talked about it with the exotic mission, the Teramis love story kind of helped me kind of connect with her a little bit better, and the future of her clutch and the race and stuff like that. I learned a little bit more about Mara, and I think she kind of admitted, like, maybe I wasn't the best person, saying to Riven. And, maybe having her fed, her whole species killed off while I kept her in a cage may not have been the greatest thing.
Yeah, she's the shepherd kill the Arachni playthrough.
Yes, bro. Good analogy. So I'm sitting there, I'm just like, yeah, you weren't that great during that situation. But to semi-redeem her, I felt that I did for the first, because I've been very hard on how they've been handling Crow. I just gotta be honest. Like, I'm like, what are they gonna do with him? What's been going on? I felt he's been on pause for a long time, character development wise. And I felt finally we got a little something. Which is okay. They have this connection. They're acknowledging this connection. And I felt Mara was very, concerned. Like, I can't lose you again. And, the whole plan for him to go through. So I think they're trying to make him have his moment, right? Which is like, well, I got to do this. I'm going to see the cavalry through to the other side of this portal thing. And, the little hand thing was my little moment for them. When they did the little hand thing. And I'm like, all right. Brother, sister, you're trying to salvage this thing. You know what I'm saying? No, where I went with that was still with the veil.
We have different takes on this show, as you can tell.
Yeah, clearly. With the veil foolishness, still, Osiris got to figure that out part. But I thought, look, it was what it was. It wasn't like spectacular, but I just felt like I learned a little bit about Mara's motivations, and I definitely liked Riven more towards the end of it. And now we wait on the portal situation, right? To see how that's going to go. And obviously the elephant in the room is when Cade sees a certain somebody, how that's going to go. Especially, the context. So that's
he's probably
really
going to be like, what
for.
are you doing here?
Hey, bro.
What's up, buddy? Can I have my gun back? Maybe?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah. And then I replayed Forsaken recently. Cade said some things before he went out. Like,
oh, yeah.
Those
last couple of lines. Right? Yeah, exactly.
He had some bars. He had bars for the boy. So I want to see how that goes. I think everyone was waiting for that payoff. So I just hope they pull that part off and don't.
That's got to be somewhere early in the opening cinematic, seeing the walkthrough. Somehow that's got to be part of it. If not, that is a massive missed opportunity, in my opinion, because those two need to somehow have a talk and either work something out. He's got to apologize. Got to have the Cade quip. Especially, I'm glad. I'm glad it will be coming from.
I hope you're excited to see that epic confrontation in a Grimoire entry.
Don't do.
Come on, we got Nathan Fillion. I gotta hear a Nathan Fillion quip. Come on,
baby. He's EU.
Don't give me that. Get ready for it. Man. Oh,
get ready for it.
Last thing, I want to give them a little fan service for the 15th wish payoff. Actually going to the last wish, going to the wishing well, and doing the thing. I just thought, because remember, that was like one of the biggest things in Destiny history. People were like, it does not exist, and I thought that was cool to at least pay that off in a way. But that was my thing of it, and now we wait.
Indeed. Brianna, what about you?
Okay, so I have a question, and it's, do you guys think that Cade is existing currently in the Pale Heart, or do you think that he will be brought into existence as part of the start of Final Shape?
It's a good one.
Like right now, as Crow is portaling through time and space,
Yep.
do we think he's landing and seeing Cade, or do we think that he is playing a role to bring Cade back into being?
So my one thing that I've said is I do feel like Cade is only in existence within the Traveler. So I do. So your question of time now is interesting. Like, does he exist now? Does he exist because we go there as Guardians, and therefore he is created as some type of guide for the Guardians by the Traveler? That's a damn good question.
That's a great question.
So there's somewhere, I don't know if it was in a lore book or something, where Crow says something along the lines of, like, if I had one wish, it would be that I never killed Cade. And then there was this whole
I think I saw this, yeah.
And anything is fair game to discuss, right? Anything that's been
Oh yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're end of season. Yeah, no, you're good.
Okay. So with all of this focus of, like, Ahamkaras never grant their own wish. That's the biggest no-no, and blah, blah, blah. And, there's just something, like, there's some foreshadowing going on there that I can't quite put the pieces together yet. And I don't know if we'll get more with, like, the wishes activity or whatever it may be. But I think that there's going to be something. I don't think that Cade is in existence right now. I think that there's going to be something with an Ahamkara that grants Crow's wish of never having killed Cade. I don't know how, again, this is just like a brain canon where I don't know how, like, logistically they would make that happen, but without, breaking a bunch of plot hole or breaking open a bunch of plot holes.
And also there's wouldn't it mean that it's like a monkey paw wish where, like, something's wrong, like he's back, but
and we don't know what capacity he's back in, right? Like we've seen a tiny little bit of him. Like I just think that it's not just like, oh, Cade's back. It's like he could be back for 30 seconds in a Star Wars holo projection that we not that I think that it's going to be that shallow, but I do think that there's going to be an asterisk by Cade's back.
No, valid. I mean, was it if the details of when we see him? There's what is it, like the white stuff emanating from him? He definitely feels kind of like you said, maybe either paracausal or some type of within the state of the Traveler.
Yeah, he's not quite just
back. Yeah,
just him on Earth. Not quite the same him. Something's up.
Yeah, but that was kind of my question to piggyback off of your theories. But I agree. I think I wanted more from it. From the final week.
This week, yeah.
Yeah, as like, you see Riven half out of the portal. Like I wanted something crazy to happen. Though I've been, for the past however many seasons, I have been wanting like something massive to happen in the tower and like something bad to happen. Something truly bad, not just like oh man, we made a deal with Riven, off she goes, everybody wave. Like we just dealt with an Ahamkara and her clutch of eggs. Like there has to be, I wanted something out of, the 7-week investment that we just made. I think that we'll get a little bit more with the, don't shake your head. Let me huff my copium.
The copium is so strong these days.
I think that like
puff pass the copium.
Man, we're gonna for the next 5 months, okay? But no, I wanted more.
All of my expectations onto the follow-up to Nightfall.
Yeah,
let's do it.
I wanted something with her being, half out of the portal and in the helm. Like something should have happened that wasn't just pleasure doing business with you, tips hat, and walks away. No, I'm hopeful that there's some weird plot twist with Crow and Cade. I'm hoping that we get more Ahamkara stuff because I like the Ahamkara storyline. One thing that I really enjoyed about the the storyline this season of, you know, the love story, the Riven's love story and everything, was just kind of opening up that door just a tiny bit to like Ahamkaras they're not just these like no brain smash thing Godzilla beings of whatever. They have a little bit more depth to them, and I think that enables decision making to happen a little bit more in Final Shape that I'm hoping for.
Yeah, no. I guess my question back to you would be then, you know, what do you feel about obviously that we have a clutch of baby dragon eggs in the future. So maybe now we're really hopium, but like any future role of them involved with the witness, you know, and helping like an Avengers story.
They're not even
the babies are born. And
they're not even dragons yet, though, much less being able to do what they're doing. So,
but like, do we know the basic life cycle of an Ahamkara? Like, what's the age to, you know?
I gotta imagine they gotta. I think the problem with like any young, what's the idea that very young snakes and things like that are always the most dangerous because they can't control how much venom they use, kind of thing. And I feel like an Ahamkara could be in a similar situation because, you know, they always play with the power of their wishes and stuff. Well, first you got to get a dragon to a point where it understands what you're asking, but then to not mess with you, not misinterpret it, that kind of thing. I feel like the young dragons aren't going to have the best circumstances with the way the wishes are going to go down. So I feel like you got to wait a little bit, have some maturity. And again, you've got Mara, who I did appreciate the idea that Mara and Riven kind of came to this weird kind of finale of respect for each other a little bit, that, you know, they played the game of chess both pretty well. And Riven actually said, I think you'll be able to actually teach my clutch something. I think that line actually hit pretty well because it showed that while Riven obviously didn't respect for what she did to all of the other Ahamkaras and she was locked away and all this stuff, kind of the patience that Mara has, the, you know, celestial patience per se, when she's waiting and playing things out over the course of a very long span of time, but she's able to do that because of the wisdom and things that she has. It allows her to have some direction for the Ahamkara, but I do feel like that will take a long time to develop. So it's like, but you also got to get the Vanguard on board. Please don't go kill the Ahamkara again, kind of thing. So I feel like time's involved in that one. Again, it also depends on how long the Destiny franchise goes on. Is this a D3, the rise of the Ahamkara? Who knows? But right now, it's interesting, but I don't know how much they're going to use them for a while. Got to wish for unlimited wishes, yeah.
I think. Okay, I guess a follow-up question to the head shaking down in my bottom right corner.
Thank you for calling him out. Appreciate that.
He's been patient.
I guess, like, realistically, what are we expected to combat the witness with? Like, what kind of power, realistically, are we? Because if it is just this collection of beings that has just slaughtered entire species, like, what realistically are we? I mean, Ahamkaras now are our current, probably biggest powerhouse.
Guns standing on plates, probably juggling buffs, and if I had to guess, throwing an orb or two at something would be my guess. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna jump into it.
Let's go.
Y'all are killing me. Y'all are killing me. First of all, the fact that you guys are thinking about the lore as much as you are, I'm certain it is more than Bungie has thought about this, because I mean, have you guys seen the Veil that we were going to get explanations for 4 seasons after the Nightfall expansion? I mean, this is the level of storytelling we're dealing with. I think the eggs are going into a bag labeled, you know, "Wake me when you need me," and those dragons are going to become relevant.
Say, "Wake me before you go," but that's different.
Yeah. Whenever it is that they need dragons or want to do another dragon season is when that's going to be relevant. I don't think the Cade and Crow thing is going to be a big focus, or how Cade came back. I don't even know if it matters. I think they, you know, throw Cade in there and maybe there's a one line or two about how he came back and one line or two about Crow. If we're lucky, we'll get to see Cade, you know, golden gun Crow, and then he'll res himself. That'll be like the throwaway. Okay, yeah, I'm mad at you. Right?
Get his anger off.
Yeah, just to get his anger off. If we're lucky, we'll get some joke like that. But I honestly think, like, it's probably going to be pretty minimal. It's going to be Ooga Booga, the witness is here, the one that you've been afraid of. Now you need to fight through a linear open world level or destination, get to the end, fight something apparently, because I guess we're going to do the actual witness during a raid, and then during the raid we're going to be standing on plates and shooting at the witness. That's the best I can do. And I would like to be proven wrong, but everything that I have so far tells me that I'm not, because what we know about the expansion is that it is more of the same. We know that they weren't able to do stuff like give the witness their own faction to fight against, right? We're getting one new enemy type added to the game, and this doesn't strike me as like being on the same level of Last Wish or something like that, where you're getting an entire secret destination. Bungie themselves has said that era is over. They just went through layoffs where they were almost decimated as a company, meaning reduced by 1/10. I'm using the technical definition of decimated. And also delayed the game, delayed a game that we know from internal, very good reporting from people who know Bungie folks, that the game was being called by its own playtesters good, not great, the expansion, right? So I would love to be proven wrong. I'm really hopeful that the delay means that they're pulling some stuff out of their butt and they're going to put that extra level of polish on it. I expect that the annual release cycle, the fact that they pushed Lightfall out in as short turnaround as they did, and it clearly wasn't the original plan, all of those signs indicate that they're just trying to get across the finish line passably, right? If they can pull off an 8 or something of that nature. And then they're going to do a lot of soul searching after the final shape to figure out what Destiny looks like in the future, post episodes and all of that other stuff with the things that their live service team's working on. That's my best guess. But I think all these theories about what's going to happen in the story are kind of hilarious. Destiny's never focused on story. That's always been in the grimoire. They know that their core audience doesn't want to see a cutscene that's longer than 3.5 minutes. I don't think they're going to be doing any of that in a proper expansion. I would be shocked if they would. And hey, the Witch Queen was great. That team is still largely working at Bungie, and I love the story in that. It's just not the vibes I'm getting with this expansion, and it's not at all in line with any of the sentiments we've heard from now former employees at Bungie about how this is turning out. So look, if I can serve any practical, useful purpose, it's to get your guys' expectations lower so that maybe you can be pleasantly surprised. Maybe, right? Maybe you'll be pleasantly surprised. I don't think that's ever a bad thing, but yeah, y'all are crazy. I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be.
Now, I would say, like,
Go
this is
ahead.
my favorite thing to do is to theorize, like in any game, right? Like, and I think it's up to it's up to whoever is theorizing to realize that that's what they are. They're theories, and they're like, oh, that would be so sick. Like, do I realistically expect any of it to actually happen? No, let alone multiple things. But I just think it's cool because there is, and maybe call it my, amateur young Destiny self still, 3 years in, 3.5 years in, but I don't know. I think it's cool to delve into, I don't know. As somebody who grew up on stories that are kind of just all given to you, and rather than like trickled over multiple sources, whether it is grimoires or lore book entries or whatever it may be, storylines, I just think it's cool to kind of fill in the blanks until I'm told otherwise.
I mean, that's what one of the reasons I kind of hate binge culture, right? Because now a show comes out and every single episode's there, and then people forget that it was ever a show. I much prefer the week to week where you're like, oh, what do you think is going to happen next episode? There's kind of that water cooler discussion, and I think that's what you get with live service games is you get that ongoing discussion. That's really fun. I just think keeping your expectations in line is important. I mean, I look at this most recent season, and to me, the biggest problem with it, and the reason I was so disappointed in the finale, is because you guys ever see a heist movie, and you know how at the end they come up with the plan for the heist, and they go, "This is how it's going to go," and you hear them tell the plan so that later, when the plan goes wrong, you know that it wasn't part of the plan. You know what I'm talking about? Where they're like, hey, this is what we're going to do. And then something goes terribly wrong. And you're like, oh my God, now what are they going to do? Because that wasn't part of the plan. Destiny basically did that with How to Get to the Witness, except for absolutely nothing went wrong. Everything went according to the plan. And you knew how the entire story was going to go the first week that they announced it. In fact, you kind of knew it as soon as they said that there was going to be a wish. You were like, all right, so the wish is to go into the portal and meet the witness, right? And so it's kind of devastating when there's absolutely no surprises and they're like, yeah, they're going to send somebody through the portal. That person's going to be Crow. Yep, Crow went through the portal.
Mhm.
That's
I
the
will agree with
story,
you there,
right?
yeah.
It's just like the most like, what? There was no like big, like, even if that was what they were going to do, they wanted to send Crow through. They could have added some suspense to it, maybe hid that reveal. Maybe Crow jumps in without permission at the last second, or there's some, you know what I mean?
Pushes
Like
somebody out of
there's
the way and dives. It's like,
yeah, there's got to be like some drama to it. And to me, this just felt like the most like it was entirely ordered in a way that was very anticlimactic, and it doesn't make me very excited or very confident in how the final shape's going to happen. Because if the plan is to go in, find the witness, and kill him, I think that might be exactly what we're going to do. And if that's exactly what we do, I mean, how disappointing is that? It's like, we need to kill the witness. All right, we killed the witness. Cool. That's just not. It's a bummer.
Yeah, I know, I agree. I wanted something to go wrong in that. Like, something needed to at least go minimally wrong to make the suspense of like, oh my God, we're going into this finale of craziness. I definitely agree with that. And that's, like I said, like, I wanted like Riven to smash something and, you know, or like or snatch up the eggs and go back through the portal, or just something weird, you know?
Well, it's like, I mean, if you think about, I'm not going to try and spoil anything, but for Avengers Endgame, there's a point where a group of people go travel through time. But when they come back, not everything went perfectly. And right now, all we know is everybody went forward. Or the one went forward, I guess I would say. And eventually we're meant to go join Crow. That's, I think, the thing that Travis, being more the level-headed one, is probably right. But I would wish that he is wrong. Again, that's a whole bunch of copium, to hope that there is something when we get to that other side, that there is more to this story than the very smooth start that we got. It's not like, all right, everybody put on your time travel suits and hit your button. Right now, that's all we've had happen. And you got to hope somewhere on the other side of that, there's a lot more chaos that they are building to. But yeah, I'm completely with you guys that it is so far a very smooth start with little bumps. And there wasn't even like, you know, testing out the time machine first and then, you know, sending time through Ant-Man and that whole point where that happens instead. There wasn't even no little bumps in the road like that. It was just, all right, we found the eggs. And there was even, in the mission, when you were going through it in this last area, there was a little bit of like Vex that I hadn't really seen in future weeks. And I was like, okay, are the Vex going to like step in and do something weird? And there was like, no. And I'm like, why were these, that felt unfinished, unresolved, unnecessary for those little things to be in there when they weren't, they didn't feel like they were. I thought that was building to something where there was going to be some takeover of the portal or something. And then, as you guys said, it was all very smooth. But I was actually...
Can you imagine going to see a heist movie and in the beginning of the third act, they explain what the plan is, and then you just watch that plan unfold without any changes? Can you imagine how pissed you'd be leaving the theater? You'd be like, dude, what the they just did it. They just pulled, I mean, they did the heist exactly. You'd feel very like, cheated. And that's just kind of how I felt with this. I was just like, all right. They just did it. And you know what the worst part is? I knew that that's what was going to happen. We kind of all did, because we've seen the Bungie storytelling recently. We're just like, yeah, it's going to happen exactly the way we all think it's going to happen.
Well, to go back to Brianna's point earlier, when you're asking how we're going to face the witness, and I was actually watching, it was just the trailer for Nightfall came through Twitter, and I was sitting there watching it. I was like, we've done just a whole bunch of stuff with like guns. We do a lot of stuff with guns as Guardians. I mean, we have guns and then we have some space powers, but generally it's a lot of stuff with guns. And I'm sitting there thinking, that one's got a little bit of the tease of the witness. We got Callus, who ended up being a bit of a chump. And then he was a letdown for me, unfortunately. But he was a big baby anyway. But you get to the witness who can literally flick their wrist and just slowly separate Guardians that are flying toward, and it's just shing, and like you're separated. Your question, I think, is a valid one though, and that's where I wonder. We actually talked about this last week, which was a good question, because I had asked these two to say, is the Witness a worthwhile villain? We don't have a whole lot of build up to it so far, where we had Savathun, we had Season of the Lost, then you had the Crystal and Deborah Wilson talking to us for like 8 weeks or something, and then the whole transition and Osiris popping out. There were things that happened, and then that story that went with it, but the Trickster and all that. We don't know that much about the Witness. We got our one cutscene in the 5th week of a season that half the people may have missed, so they don't know. I don't know how important that piece is. I know it'll probably be in the when the servers are down for like final shape and they're showing the preview, that's going to be in there. We know that's going to be there. But it is the idea. If the Witness is powerful enough to flick your wrist and just go, yep, you're done. Okay. So how do we combat something like that? Is it a combination of a lot of things? And so that's why I was like, I like your thinking of, are the Ahamkara involved? Is there something grander involved? What do we do? Swish and flick. Thank you. Actually, I've been working my way through my like Harry Potter rewatch that I do every few years. In essence, we should not be powerful enough to take on the Witness. It doesn't feel like we are with just Guardians and a little bit of supers and stuff. If you get halfway near the Witness, it's like, oh, look, and just another like flick of the wrist and the whole fire team's done. So I don't understand how. I know what Travis said, we're going to stand on plates and throw balls, which, very reductive, but also that's just raid mechanics and what we do. But it does feel like there's this separation of, I don't know how we get powerful enough to face the Witness.
Right.
If there's something with the Traveler that we get empowered somehow that we're not normally. If it's like a 7-stage raid battle, which that's asking too much for a raid, that, I'll be happy if there's 5 encounters instead of 4. Because these last raids have been pretty consistent where it's, you get 2 bosses and a couple traversal encounters. If we get even one extra one, that will feel a little closer even to Last Wish to be that kind of thing. 12-person raid, that's asking way too much, I can tell you. That's been kind of the one thing I was even just noodling over recently, was the idea that we do just have guns and space powers. The Witness just flicked a wrist and Guardian's toast. So I'm going, how do we get to that level? How do we get to the level of actually taking on this enemy? And that was kind of the wonder. So I wanted to actually turn it back to you and ask, do you have any speculation of, how do we actually face the Witness?
Me?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Guns.
and like, and
It's
I
a
guess
sidearm, actually. It's this little crossarm. It's crossbow
we
sidearm.
We just need that 50 more power level. We just need to
Right.
get
That's it.
50 power higher. That was the Witness threshold. You didn't.
Okay.
No, I think for me,
Get your
I will be
pinnacles done.
Jesus, of course that. God.
Messy.
No, I think for me,
Messy.
one of like what I need is an explanation for why we are more powerful whenever that is. Like, I don't necessarily need mechanics that are super different. I don't need to, turn into an Ahamkara myself. Like, I'm okay with standing on plates and shooting weapons, right? But I want to know why standing on plates and shooting weapons in the final shape does something when standing on plates and shooting weapons right now wouldn't do any. Like, I need reasoning behind why I have what this power is that I have, why I have it, and why it's destructive against the Witness. That would be enough for me to close the book and be like, all right.
I think they will do that, because usually the raid mechanics have like a canon reason for why the ritual you're doing does something.
Yeah.
So I think they can get there. I just don't know if it's like, I think when people talk about wanting those explanations, they want them to be like in a cutscene or in the limelight. And I don't know that that is even the right place for that. I think they are going to be lore tabs largely, or there'll be a side quest that happens in between the main campaign and the raid, where it's like a pre-raid mission where you'll have like voices talking in your ear of like, well, if we could only do this, then we stand a chance of beating the Witness or something like that. And I think it'll probably be something like that. But
Yeah.
I just don't. They've never put their lore, or honestly even their story, as their best foot forward or front and center. I don't know if they have data to suggest that players just don't care about it. That's just not the gamer they appeal to, or what. But yeah, I don't have a ton of expectation that it's going to be like as in your face as the Witch Queen was. I think that was like the most they ever really got in your face about like, hey, here's the story we're trying to tell and why it matters and why the lore matters and all that. I could be wrong though. They could surprise me. They always do. They're Bungie. They're good at what they do. Despite my current pessimism, they are They're still some of the best.
Could not pick that up at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, they're still some of the best devs in the business. If anybody can prove me wrong, it's them. And I want them to, just to be clear.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, it's going to be, you know, the weight of the campaign. You know, I think like the way Witch Queen's campaign kind of set the bar as far as the stages of dealing with Savathûn, and obviously an amazing villain. So the Witness has a lot to try to live up to, you know, as far as the Savathûn. But yeah, I think to me the key is going to be, once inside the Traveler, what is the discovery, right? What is the discovery that allows us to even compete? Because I'm with you, Brianna, in the sense that, you know, right now we've given, there's no indicator that we should be on any level with the Witness, you know what I'm saying, as it currently stands. And I think my prediction is somehow the Witness's way, maybe even whether it be through Cade or through, you know, if these are former Guardians that are dead and to instruct us to what this path is to be able to combat. But for me, you know, I personally need it to be culminated post-campaign in the raid, where the raid really has the true stakes. And I think Taken King kind of set that up, where we know we didn't really beat Oryx, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing in the main campaign, and that we have to do this extra thing, thus enter the raid and, you know, accomplish what we need to accomplish. I do agree with Travis that I think that the verbiage will be of what it is going to be explained in like that timer in the upper right hand corner. Traveler's light, Traveler's hope. 16 seconds. Who's got the Traveler's hope? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's going to be, I agree with Travis that it's going to be that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The key for them to land the plane though is, in my opinion, now this is really asking a lot. Like,
hold on.
I think we had a kind of discussion. Like, I need something that either the first part of the Witness encounter, we are really decimated. Like, we cannot win. Like, there needs to be something that happens in the raid, right? That shows us, okay, what we're doing is not working. And then whether it be cinematic or something really epic that happens, and it's like, okay, now because of this event, you got a shot. You know what I'm saying? I just need something for me. Again, I know this is asking a lot. I know they've really never done nothing like this before.
Yeah.
But
I think it's not going to be a World of Warcraft raid. The first time you enter, you can't kill it this week. You got to work on building up your gear. That ain't happening.
But like almost in a sense of phase. Like, put it this way. Remember when we fought Riven the correct way? Right, like and then you had to go inside the hard, like something like they gotta make it. And I think that's why I love Last Wish so much, because there was those extra steps to it. They just, okay, shoot the guns, blast it on the plates, remember the sign, who got bird, who got 2 snakes with the 8. Like we got to do something extra to really finish.
I would be okay with less symbols though, because I don't need to be calling out like Green Floyd. That was ours, by the way. It was what was it, Vow of the Disciple, and it was like the green pyramid with like all the rays. We called that Green Floyd, and somebody said that and it just like stuck. So there were some fun call outs pretty early on.
My favorite thing about day one raids are the group that you do it with, however the hell you come up with the call outs. And those stick forever, and you raid with somebody new, and you tell them like, "Oh, this is what this is called," and they're like, "What?
What?"
You're like, "No, you wouldn't understand." And that was on 21 hours of gameplay.
That's why they gave canon definitions.
And
they ruined all the fun.
We all talked about it. We were like, "Are we calling it that?" And we were like, "No." Yeah, like the one. Yeah, the
time was
pizza hands. I definitely remember that one. Sorry.
I made them all extremely personal to me so that they were
indecipherable. You went. Like, I remember some of this.
Yeah, I was like, guys, look for the one that looks like my relationship with my father, and then they all had to just guess which symbol I meant. You know, it was good.
Yeah, that might be a little too inside joke for everybody to be helpful.
No, I insist.
Was that the one with the hole in the heart?
No, that was my current medical status.
My God.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like we just did like a random loadouts Deepstone Crypt, and good old main pain in chat, like, will call out like Maine and California for like the 4 little in the chaos room of the descent encounter, and it's like you have to think like, okay, Maine is up here and California's down here,
Down
and like,
here, yeah.
and it's just one of those like fun.
Mhm.
I don't know. I that's like one of my favorite things is the things that you come up with in a day one, whatever sticks, and then the poor people who have to like raid with you later who
Yeah.
didn't do it with you. They're like, why do you call it that? It's like it's best if you don't ask.
Geographic callouts. Yeah, I would tell you, like most Americans, if you did anything besides state geography, we would bomb if you were like, all right, so Italy, Great Britain,
Speak for
Spain, most
yourself.
people would, most Americans suck at
yourself.
geography, I will say. Having played a few trivia games with some people, most Americans, not the best at geography.
Let's say most Texans. I'll accept the argument. Most
That's
Texans.
Yes,
But
we
no,
do.
I realize that my hopes are high. I am, like I said, I am
Right.
more than willing to admit that I huff the copium quite frequently, but it's because it's what I enjoy. And
You're in medicine. Copium is just another
it is
herbal treatment.
placebos, if they work, they're still efficient. So.
True, yeah.
Like it's getting the job done one way or the other, so it's fine.
Yeah, as long as the job gets done, journey not destination or something.
Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
well, when I set your expectations so low that no matter how the expansion turns out, you are pleasantly surprised, you can thank me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Travis has done his job.
Thanks
He's
for bringing me down
he's-
to your depths so that I
Yeah.
could enjoy this.
Yeah, Travis is like, I'm gonna bring the whole room down so you guys have a little bit of fun. That's how we roll here.
Exactly. There you go.
I mean,
As
somebody's
if Lightfall didn't do that for you. I mean, wasn't that the whole point of this year, was to bring the expectations low so that they could knock it out of the park? I sure hope so.
Nah, I gotta put their foot to the fire. They gotta keep it to the test, man. They gotta knock our socks off. I'm not
I agree.
allowing that thought.
No, I think a 7 is like a fail, right? In this one, not obviously
Yeah.
7 still means it's a good game, but I think from
Yeah.
fan expectations, it would be considered underwhelming. And I
Yeah.
think that might also be true of an 8 even. I think if it
Yeah.
was an 8, people would still be like, but it was the final one, it was the end of the story. This was supposed to be the payoff. Our faith has to be rewarded, in the words of the
I agree.
like, I don't know if they can do an Infinity War and an Endgame, but I also it can't be like Game of Thrones season 8.
Oh, no. Oh, God. Yeah, I remember that.
Travis is over here. You shall drown in the deep. Literally. You're Zal over here, just
You
bringing
shall
us all
drown.
down.
Quote.
I love how Game of Thrones season 8, and everybody's like, "Oh God, oh." It's like I totally blacked that out. I don't even remember that. That didn't
You know
happen.
what's funny about, and I hope this doesn't happen to Destiny, obviously, but the final season of Game of Thrones was so bad, it invalidated the entire journey leading up to it. So
Ooh.
now you
That's
now
rough.
you can't rewatch Game of Thrones because you
Yeah,
know how
that's
it
tough.
ends. Like
See, I'm gonna completely disagree with you there, and
let's
I know
go.
that
Push
I am.
back.
Somebody's like, "I
No,
love
I
all
gotta-
6
I
seasons
gotta-
of Game of Thrones." Wait, there's
I
2
gotta
more.
sprinkle some spice into this. I think that is a disservice to the time that you invest into a game, into a show, into anything by not viewing it, not being able to compartmentalize a good season for a good season without taking
Well,
into consideration,
if
what's going to happen.
If 6 of the seasons are set up to an ending that is bad,
But are all
that's
of, like,
not a good use of time.
But that's not fair to say that the first, 7 seasons were all leading to the things that happened in season 8.
There was
I
a
think
lot
that
of
there were a
taint
lot of
tickling.
closed doors prior
what I mean?
to.
Can you maybe not?
No, I think that there were a lot of closed doors that happened.
One time, just let it go. Sorry, not you. I'm talking to Travis.
No, I don't. I don't know. That's I will die on this hill because I think that something like playing games or watching shows or whatever it may be is all, as cliche as it sounds, about the journey and the experiences.
Yeah.
Like nothing to this point has given me the feeling of feeling so mad when I watched The Red Wedding for the first time. Like, and when that happened, like when season 8 concluded, it wasn't like, man, Red Wedding episode sucked now. Like it did its own all on its own. Like two truths can exist at the same time. I don't know. Just
No, good you go.
Sure.
No, good you go.
No, I mean,
I would never say that the memories we made along the way aren't worth it. But if you're trying to rewatch that show, I mean, try it. Try it, knowing the ending. That's what I mean when I say it's an ending so bad it invalidates the journey.
Like the rewatch would be harder, but that doesn't mean it's like certain moments you don't enjoy along the way and all those.
That's not true for everything, right? Like there's plenty of TV shows that have had bad endings where you're like, yeah, but I mean, you can still rewatch the show and then you just have to deal with like one bad season or one bad episode at the end.
You just watch all the other good seasons.
And the entire time you're just like, oh no, like, like none of this is going to go anywhere. Like it is.
I think the way I process it is like, as a fan of the Terminator series, like Terminator 2, the series was over as far as I'm concerned, because that's how much I love. Like I don't count what that was. 83 and all that stuff afterwards, because that's how much of a high regard I kind of have it. And I think some people even feel that way with like Matrix, like Matrix 1 or something like that. Some people didn't like, the follow-ups and stuff like that. But no, I get both points. For some, it will invalidate, but for some, it's the journey and doesn't, invalidate the, the emotional impact of something like the Red Wedding, or what was it, the Battle of the Bastards, and saying certain things, the Viper and the Mountain. I remember being on that, edge of my seat, like, yo, this is like peak television. Like this show is crazy. Like anything, whoever's your favorite, we could kill your favorite. Like I was like, damn, show. Like this show was cold.
Yeah,
this won't surprise anyone, but I was one of those douchebags who'd already read all the books, and I was like, come on.
Yeah.
You guys don't know about the Red Wedding.
That's
you guys don't know about the Mountain of the Viper.
Anyone who is listening to this show or watching it live is not surprised by that comment, Travis, at all.
I was like,
oh, you're that guy?
Yeah, you guys like that? You guys like that? Just wait.
There's a couple like fantasy books and stuff that I've read that are supposed to be getting shows, and I'm just like, I can't wait for everybody to be as emotionally destroyed as I was. So I get that, but I don't know. I feel like I'm usually like painfully not optimistic. That's not a good way to put it, but I feel like it's just like, man, I don't want to like chalk everything up to a waste of time. So I do try to like find.
Yeah, I didn't mean to say it's a waste of time. I meant to say that like it makes rewatches impossible because knowing how it ends makes the previous content not as fun, which I think is pretty unique to Game of Thrones. Like I can't think of any other series that makes me feel that way. But like, yeah, of course we're gonna have the memories we made along the way.
We gotta ask like Cognito, does Mass Effect Andromeda exist?
Well, we don't talk about that.
Does the ending of Mass Effect 3 exist? Yes, some people
I actually haven't played 3.
Some people think like that 3. Mass Effect 3's ending is so bad that it makes playing the earlier games not worth it, and I pretty hard disagree on that one. I think you can still play 1 and 2, and honestly, all of 3 up until the final hour of the game. You're like, yeah, this is sick.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I guess somebody said you got to watch the Sarah. Oh yeah, I heard about the Terminator Sarah Connor Chronicle TV series.
Is it bad?
I've heard good things about it, but I'm just too scared because I'm worried. I'm nervous what they do with the lore.
Terminator and Genesis and all the other stuff that happened.
Dude, it's a show with time travel and different timelines. What could they do to ruin it? You could always just be like, oh, then we went back in time and didn't do that. You know what I mean? Like, there's no stakes at all. Like, if the robots were smart, they would go back in time and kill like the apes. Why would they just do that?
Don't even let humans get there.
What?
No, I said you said kill the apes like before they. What is it?
Yeah,
evolutionary
kill them before they become humans. Why wouldn't you just do that? That sounds like. Unless, if them killing humans, does that mean the robots never were built, so they're killing themselves?
Then you get into the whole time travel paradox, and then if you go back, and then you got that whole problem.
But they want to do that anyway. They want to kill the humans in the past. So
they don't. If they've evolved, this is a stupid debate, honestly. But it's like, if the robots are this far along, they want to be preserved because they're fighting for their own existence. So they don't want to go back and delete the people who made them in the first place. But you can't go back. Then you're going to be on a different timeline, and it's time travel, and Back to the Future is a complete lie. So it's fine.
In some of the movies, they try to go back and kill their own creator, which would mean that they never exist, right?
If I recall, it was something to the effect of the leader of the resistance who turned the tide. So maybe they don't kill humans in the sense that
you're talking about the second one.
Yeah,
they're
that's what
trying
I'm
to kill
talking about. I'm talking about the
Twin
second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
All
the
I can
Claws
say is,
episode,
has
yeah.
anybody seen the alternate ending of Butterfly Effect? That's weird. If you've seen Butterfly Effect, like
that movie was so long ago.
I know, but there's an alternate ending, and you get the DVD or whatever, and you watch that, and it's like you're like, oh, that's why that wasn't in theaters. Somebody has seen it. Okay, thank you. Seriously, clever girl. Yeah, there's one other person who knows what the hell I'm talking about in here. So yeah, if you've ever seen the alternate ending to that movie, that's the one that was not in theaters for a reason. Anywho, we are about at 2 hours. I feel like this is probably a safe time to wrap it up. This has been a hilariously awesome chat, though, as I expected it would be.
Yes.
Met you for literally like 5 minutes and expected this is how this was going to go. So I'm not surprised at all. This has been a lot of fun. I really appreciate you, for one, bringing your chat in here. They are great to keep you honest and entertaining. So this has been tons of fun with them. I think they made it more interesting. We got some good stories. But yeah, at this point, is there anything else you guys want to cover as we get to, or nope? Travis is good. Nope, get me out of here.
We got our break. We did what we had to do. Our star.
All right, so we'll see you guys in about 5 months. Show hat. No,
5 months. Show. See you in 5 months. We'll be back.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do for 5 months? It's gonna be 5 months of being like
play other games.
So, what do you guys?
Did you log in for 5 minutes and do your seasonal whisper? That's the I see it. We didn't even get to that. I was going to ask you guys. So the seasonal wish quest progression thing starts next week, or starts in February, which I would imagine at the end of the season. I don't even know what that's going to be, and I don't think we're going to know for a little while, since that was supposed to be at the end of the season. So, lots of questions to come. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me. I get nervous with these types of conversations because I am still a Destiny baby, so I appreciate you.
I think you held your own just fine.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
You did your thing. Love the conversations. Love the gaming history. Love the charity events. And obviously what you're doing in the medical field is pretty awesome. So, and you're a Warlock, so it's just automatically I was like,
yeah, you were good there in his book.
I was like, there's no need to question her in anything.
Perfect.
No doubt. E.
That's about all I got. So if you guys want to go through outros, we will start with you, Brianna. The floor is yours to tell people what to expect when you got your charity stream. What are you doing? When's all of it? Just now is the time to share and tell anybody who hears this or sees this where to find you and what you're doing.
Cool. Yeah, like we've talked about, Destiny is going to kind of reach a little bit of a slowdown, so I'm going to pick up tons of games that have either been on my list or are getting added to my list daily. So you can find me at twitch.tv/alltimebrianna. I'm actually Alltime Brianna on everything except for Twitter, where I am _Alltime Brianna. We love the lack
Don't you hate that?
there.
Yep.
I love it.
But yeah, I stream pretty much every day, 4 p.m. Central, though I am going to start forcing myself to take Thursdays off because there are not enough hours in the day. Yeah, we'll continue to do Drinksony stuff every month. It's going to start back up in the new year, so that this month's hasn't occurred, so that'll probably happen 2 Fridays from now. And yeah, that's about it. I appreciate you guys for listening to me ramble for 2 hours.
Oh, this is fun. This is fun. Ton of fun. Thank you for coming through. This was a lot of fun. Definitely enjoyed this. Trav, what you got going on?
You gentlemen
man?
have anything else as we wrap up? Anything you can, or if you can't talk about anything, then that's NDA.
Yeah,
NDA reviews?
I can't talk about much. I've got a maybe Disney Dreamlight Valley review, maybe Pal World review, but the year is starting to pick up. Excited about some releases and excited to get back into some chunky reviews, and then the big stuff I'm working on I can't talk about yet, but I'm excited to.
Nice.
Cog?
It's gonna be still probably rock out Baldur's Gate.
Nice.
This month is huge for me. Oh man, Tekken 8 is just it's going crazy for me.
Is it like almost the last day of the month or really close to, or
so close? I am so hyped. It's ridiculous. And then that combined with my man Ichiban.
Yeah, you got both.
Wealth, and You're Like a Dragon, which is massive. massive, and I cannot wait for all the foolishness I'm going to do in Hawaii with this group. And the new cast of characters and the old cast of characters is exciting. And yeah, I'm hearing fantastic things, and I got something cooking on that with Infinite Wealth that I can't talk about. But look out for potentially, something I want to do with that. But yeah, this is a big month. This is a big month for me, so I'm excited. Then we got I got a developer direct, I think, next week.
Yep.
I got to talk to you guys.
Literally a week from
but
today.
I think it's early. Yeah,
so we'll talk about it on the show. Well,
yeah, got to see what Indiana Jones and what you call it.
That's probably the one I'm most curious about, because I can kind of wrap my head around the others. I am very curious what they do with that franchise, because the movies have been.
How can you not wrap around the idea of machine gun games making
machine games
making Uncharted
a Nazi killing? They're totally unknown for that.
Yeah, well, I mean that's fair, but I'm more curious to how much they go into like storytelling, that kind of stuff. I'm just kind of curious what they do.
Yeah,
what it looks
Did
like.
You see the story in those games, though?
Yeah, Wolfenstein stories is fire.
Yeah,
Wolfenstein's a goated story about a guy killing Nazis. So I think I mean, if you were to tell me, Travis, pick one studio you think could do this best, I'd pick them.
Yeah, I'm curious though. Third person, first person. How do they pull that off
That's
with
true.
indie? Yeah, just to see what's their take, right? How they handle. But I'm with you, Trav. Like I have full confidence in the quality of the game. I just want to see how they tackle it. So I'm curious about that. But E, what you got going on?
Well, first I want to thank our guests. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for sharing this time. And our guest coming in next week. We've got Jared coming next week. So that one should be a ton of fun. Actually, before next week's show, I will be doing my charity stream. Mine is actually a week from today, but earlier in the day. So I'll be doing mine early, and then still obviously working as long as it goes on to see how much. I'm far from, all that you're probably going to raise, but I'll do my best to come up with some crazy stuff. So stay tuned. I'm trying to finalize those things. I did my preview for Pacific Drive streamed yesterday, posted on YouTube. I'm going to play Prince of Persia, and then same thing with you guys, just trying to keep up with all the new stuff as we, wait for the little bit of Destiny that comes our way here and there. But it's been an amazing episode. Chat, all of you guys and gals have been amazing. Actually, very, very funny jokes in there tonight. So thank you guys for all the one-liners. I appreciate that. And as we wrap up, thank you guys. So for this episode, it has been a blast. Number 279 here on January 11th. Thank you guys very much. And for this episode, it has been
the last
word.